All right, I apologize for that. I had lost my phone because I wanted to make sure I had that for part of this conversation. I could not find it. And I put it in a stupid ass place. So that's on me. Welcome to the Den. I'm glad that you could join this afternoon. I hope you're all doing well. What is today, Tuesday? Hope you're having a great Tuesday afternoon. So far, so good, or however you want to identify that. Do all this. So let's talk about, today we're going to talk about the squad. We're going to talk about Donald Trump and some messages and a bunch of other things, and things that I think people may or may not be watching and paying attention to. Coffee is black. As all of this stuff is going on. So let's get the proper protocol rolling, and then let's get into some good conversation. We'll see who we got joining us today. So I hope you're all doing well. DeMarkey, shut your ass. Yes, I'm a little bit late. Because I was going to do a different topic, but I decided I'm gonna push that topic to late tonight because I saw some people had put something in the chat, not the chat, the Facebook group, and then I had like 2 people text me about it previously, but I was just like, I'll get to it. I really went before, but I was like, you know what? Better now than never. Because I can do it. And I see Man Up just said he did a video about this. So apparently this is a hot topic that needs to be discussed. Man, I saw all the people posting that face app shit yesterday, and I showed my old lady, and she went nuts with the shit. She just went all kind of crazy. She did a picture of, she did like all her pictures, and she said, oh, I'm gonna be home, and then she did one of me. I sent it to my mama, and then I think she did one of the Lil one, and Lil one looked crazy as cat shit. It's like this app that makes you look fucking old as shit. Like you can do, I think you can do like young or old. Everybody's posting that shit yesterday. Everybody was going crazy with that shit on Instagram. But it's some app that you take your picture and it make your face look fucked up. Makes your face look real fucked up. Let's see what we got joining us today, though, man. Man Cave, what's the motherfucking deal? DeMarkey, what's the motherfucking deal? Dopey, Miss Meat, what's the motherfucking deal? Sweetberry, 37, what's the motherfucking deal? Wise, what's the motherfucking deal? Kanisha Violence, y'all don't know that. She be playing cool. I peep it. I see below the surface. Kanisha throw them hands on you. Y'all better stay on her good side. What's the motherfucking deal? Evil I hope I'm saying that right. I might be messing your name all up, but I'm assuming that it's I Am Love backwards. OJ Clinton, what's the motherfucking deal? Beyond a Funny Nigga, what's the motherfucking deal? 10 second shout out to Wise, what's the motherfucking deal? Only One Lie, what's the motherfucking deal? Let's see. Don Nelson, what's the motherfucking deal? Glad you could join us. Nice. I gotta get back to eating right. I was eating bad. I ain't gonna lie. I gained a few pounds since the 4th, but we gonna talk about it. It's Wednesday. Damn, it is Wednesday. I'm telling y'all, I'm out of there, man. See, look at her. She trying to fight me now. She's trying to fight because it's Wednesday. Damn, I ain't mean it. Well, Wednesday. Good Wednesday to y'all. I'm telling you, y'all for stream, I'll be on some other shit. It is fucking Wednesday. I need more coffee, damn it. But anyway, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. If I missed you, I didn't dish you. So there were some comments that were made by President Trump, and I think there might have been 2 or 3 tweets. I don't have all of them. And people are upset. People are angry at the president. Y'all have to see. You know, they call something what is it called, the long con? Is when excuse me, when somebody sets you up, and everything's good. You know, they'll play right into your hands. You know, it'll go back and forth. It'll be an exchange. But there's an ultimate goal at the end, right? To finesse you. And I think y'all got to see what's happening. Right now, I know a lot of people are saying he shouldn't have said what he said about those Democratic congressmen. And he probably should have said it. Probably, if the smartest move he could have made was to have just stayed out of it, because the Democrats are deteriorating from within, because there's already a lot of infighting. I can't go to Area 51. It's on my birthday, so I can't go. I got other plans. But nah, there's already been a lot of infighting and stuff out there. And I think that, you know, by him chiming in, because I think, you know, there was already some beef between Pelosi and the squad. I think that's a fucking crazy thing. A crazy thing. And so if he'd have just stayed out of it, you know, and just let them continue to fight, he'd been able to do some things. But what a lot of people don't realize is that as this has been going on, the media has been talking about one thing and one thing only, and that is what President Trump said, not realizing that he has slid a couple, well, I don't know if they may get challenged in court, but he's pushed a couple of new bills through, right? And one of those being basically that there is, it's kind of a complicated deal, but basically there's going to be no immigration coming through the southern border, right? And that's what people don't realize. So right now everybody's having all this big ass immigration fight. Well, he's basically, not want to say killed immigration, but he's pushed through some things that make it pretty difficult. And I was watching something the other day, and it made a whole lot of sense to me, right? I'm gonna get into that in a second. We're gonna talk about immigration. We're gonna talk about Ice Bay too. Y'all been hating on Ice Bay. Y'all better let Ice Bay live. But my thing is, y'all know me, man. Y'all know my opinions on a lot of things and my feelings. I don't think he said the right stuff. Don't think he did. Don't think he was smart. I don't even think it was really just calculated. But it did I think it did him a favor in the long run, as opposed to, I think it did what it was supposed to do in the long run, as opposed to what's more important, and that is distract the media. The media has nothing to follow. Look, he's saying stuff. He's been saying stuff his entire time. He's been saying stuff before he got elected. Like, why is that even really news at this point? You know what I mean? I don't know. Area 51 is you know what I'm saying? Area 51, for some reason, everybody said they're gonna go over there and raid and get the aliens, and they're gonna disappear, man. All right, man. K, appreciate you coming through. But here's my deal with Trump, right? And I'll tell y'all why I like Trump. I'll tell y'all why I don't like Trump. I'll tell y'all why I don't really care, because I'm not a Trump supporter, but I can find good and bad in everybody. But I am about free speech. I am about speaking your mind. I am about saying what you feel. And if that's truly how you feel, then, you know, say what you want to say. But the congresswomen, the 4 congresswomen that have come through, and yeah, a lot of people are cheering him on because the media is pushing him to the forefront. But again, there's not as much support behind this squad that people really want to believe. You know, there's not a lot, when they've done polls, even between amongst Democrats, people who are expected to vote Democrat, there's not a lot of people who have, let's say, a lot of favor. They don't have a good view of AOC or Omar. I'm not too familiar with the other ones, Presley and what's the other one? I forgot her name. But here's my thing, man, and and I look at this from like a business point of view, and maybe I'm wrong right now, because I'm looking at more of the infighting that's going on. I'm going to come back to the Trump thing, because right now the Democrats really don't hold the weight. They want the presidency. That's what they're hoping for. That's what they're trying to get. And if they continue on the path they're going, they're going to end up having a lot more people leave the party. I'm not about identity politics. Y'all know that. And so what you have is these 4 congresswomen who've come in. That has kind of been their main platform. Is we talked about POC the other day. That's a whole different thing, and I'll probably dive into that here in a minute. But their whole platform has been about identity politics, and it can become divisive depending on what side of it you're on. You know, so for some people they think it may be favorable. Some people may think it's divisive. It is what it is. You're entitled to feel how you want to feel. But my issue with that is, say you were starting at a company, right? Let's say it's an entry-level position at a company, right? And I don't know what kind of company. We'll say corporate, something corporate. And you had a beef with your boss, with the CEO or something, right? And it's 2 or 3 of y'all. You have a little beef. Y'all feel like he said something wrong or insensitive. Well, do you wait for the CEO to reach out to you, or do you reach out to the CEO and say, "Hey, I think we need to sit down and have a conversation," or "I'd like to sit down and have a conversation"? What do you think is more likely going to happen? Do you think that the person who is in charge of everything is going to reach out to the person with less power, or should the people who are who have less power want to reach out to so the people with less power try to reach out to the person with more power? Who's going to make waves? Who's going to move? Like who's going to move the wave? Nobody. With a little bit of power. If you're in a little paddle boat, you're not doing nothing. If you're in a big ass fucking cruise ship, well, don't hit any dolphins. I think dolphins are fast. They probably don't get hit by cruise ships. I don't know. But anyway, what I'm saying is Nancy Pelosi is the person in power, right? And there was an interview they did with the 4 squad members, which is such a crazy name. Like, some of y'all are young. Back in 02, 03-ish, when Lil Wayne was still under the radar, right? That was his rap group's name, The Squad. When it wasn't with the Hot Boys, it was his mixtape stuff, The Squad. Squad up. I don't think I want politicians having that same name. You know what I'm saying? You said my channel's the only channel I have a problem staying alive. You over there, see you be pushing buttons. You're trying to go, because you're trying to go back and look at that other thing that I was telling you about, right? That's what it is. That's why you stand like you switching over, going back and forth. Cassie Jones, what's the motherfucking deal? Glad you could join us today. That's what you're going back to that other site and then coming back and you're forgetting to push the live button back. But my thing is, when you're a little, and not to be funny, but a minority, you're a small group of women who were freshmen in this entity in which you've joined. Even though you may have a lot of social media popularity, that doesn't mean that you have weight, that you're holding weight, that you hold clout, if you will, whatever you want to call it. When it comes to certain things, you may have a loud voice, but it's showing that more and more people are starting to not take favor with a lot of things, especially AOC. Like I said, I'm not too familiar with the other 2. I know the Omar, they said that there was an issue with that she possibly married her brother so that he could come across into this country. Now, she's the only one that was not born here. And I believe all the rest of them were. And so that's where I feel like, the comments were, they're a little off there, Senor Presidente, you know. And Talib, okay. And so my thing is just that, look, we already know President Trump is going to say what he's going to say. But at this point, the problem I have is, and the problem with the Democrats is, that they're hoping that they're going to undermine or they're going to defeat President Trump by him just goofing up and saying something. And then people are going to say, yeah, see, he said that. It's over with for him. At this point, what can he say? What can he say that is going to make people jump off the ship that he hasn't said already? What else can Trump say at this point that he has not said that is going to deter people from supporting him that are not fans. So at this point, to me, looking at the Democrat 335, what's the motherfucking deal? Yeah, well, good luck with that, female pimp. But the thing is this, right? Only one say, you say him saying what he's going to say is that he says shit that is not okay. And I understand that. But would you rather someone who is being genuine with you so you know exactly where they stand? Excuse me. Coffee made me burp. So you know exactly where they stand so you know how to handle dealing with them? Or would you rather somebody who lies to you and flip-flops and one day they say this, one day they say that. 2 months ago they were saying this. Today they're saying that. You know? Because I think that's what you get when you look at a lot of the popular Democratic candidates. And I'm not even talking about the congresswomen. I'm not saying they're flip-floppers. They are who they have been. But I'm talking about the Democratic Party in whole, because this is what this is about. The reason why this is getting pushed forth in the media, we know where the media leans. We know what the agenda is. The media hates Trump. But let me tell you something. If Trump is out of office, television ratings are going to decline because that's all they've had to talk about since he's been elected. Since he became the nominee of the Republican Party, that's all they've had to talk about. Collusion for a few years. That fell through. Well, let's look into finances. Let's look at it. Like, I understand all of these things are issues that, yeah, that you could try to harp on to try to maybe figure something out. But I don't think these are the primary concerns of anyone. These are things that you could be doing in the meantime, instead of coming up with all these committees to do this and do that. These are things you could be doing in the meantime while actually trying to find a quality Democratic candidate. But now you have all these candidates saying crazy stuff. Let's let everybody in. Let's have these open borders. Let's let everybody do whatever they want to do. And the problem is, you know, it's super funny because they're like, well, everybody deserves to have a chance. It would be nice for everybody to have a chance. Economics don't quite work that way. But if there's already problems here in America, and you talk about greenhouse issues, you talk about all these other issues, what is bringing in millions and millions of other people going to do? How is that going to help these problems, right? And so my thing is, there is no Democrat at this point, in my opinion, that is saying anything that is helping anyone. And that's my problem. Like, there's nothing being said that is making competitive statements, I guess, how to put it, that would make a competitive candidate for Donald Trump. Nobody's saying anything. You're saying, hey, well, we'll give out free health care. How? We'll give out immigration, we'll just open up the borders. Okay. You got candidates running over there and bringing people across illegally. Okay. Free college. Okay. I'm going to talk about that free college thing in a second too. It's just right now, hey, I'm all about competition. I would love to see a quality candidate. But right now, it's going to be another Trump, it's going to be a Trump re-election. Because nobody's saying anything. Nobody's saying anything. Well, that's the problem. Who's going to handle it? Why are they not going to put up a quality candidate? They'd rather push the messages of AOC. They'd rather push the messages of some of this willy-nilly stuff. They want to push you to Kamala Harris's, who was basically a Republican prior to, but now all of a sudden she's changed. They'd rather send you dancing, hot sauce eating, you know, fun-loving candidates. Is this the state of America? Is this what we care about more? We care about more of how people look. If they look like us, and if they do things that we like. Is that how we secure votes now? I mean, if it is, then just let me know. I'm trying to figure it out. I have no idea. But then they'll say, okay, well, I'll reverse everything you did. But how will they? Because I'm going to be honest. Has anyone heard a Democrat with a plan? Outside of Yang, and I don't necessarily agree with his plan, outside of Tulsi, the rest of the Democrats, you got an author up there who just seems like she's wishing everybody fairy tales and magic kisses and shit. I don't even know how she got up there. You know, Biden has already assumed he's going to win. Kamala, I'm going to be honest, the only reason she's in that position because she's a black woman. And so people just, like right now, people just want to see somebody who looks like, don't matter if this motherfucker hates their guts. Because she was an Indian woman when she first started running. She identified as an Indian woman. But now, because it's convenient, she's black, right? So, is Bernie even still pushing Bernie's agenda? Bernie's lost some fire. Bernie doesn't have the juice he used to have. But here's the deal. I've been talking for a minute. I'm gonna open up the line. I'll continue my spiel. A lot of this stuff is really crazy to me. Now, a lot of times I don't really care about what the president says. I really don't. It's not gonna impact me in any way. But I think that he hit people with the okie doke. I think he finessed a lot of people by saying a certain thing. The media gets distracted. He pushes some bills through. Instead of people being focused, there's a lot of talk about immigration. There's a lot of talk about detention centers. And we can talk about how the Democrats did not want to fund those things because it was a manufactured crisis. It wasn't real. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't a real issue until I go down to the southern border and I take fake pictures. And I don't see how people don't. Look, man, you can like people. You can like whoever you want to. But you can like somebody and not buy their bullshit. You know what I'm saying? So that's the problem. A lot of people want to be on team somebody and not call out any of this shit. And you can say the same thing about Trump supporters. There's shit that Trump does that it's stupid. And, it is what it is. Does he golf a lot? Yeah, he does. Did he have the legal maids? Yeah, I'm sure he did. But the thing is, instead of focusing on the little petty shit, like they need to find a way to come together, but instead the Democratic Party's weak. They're undermining one another. They have no real base. They have no values. You got the far, far left becoming basically what is the left. And if you're not agreeing with the AOCs and the Bernies of the world, then next thing you know, they're calling you right-winger or alt-right. And it's so much, we talk about rhetoric from Trump, but there's a lot of dangerous rhetoric from the left. I mean, come on, like, where are the right-wing parties that are out there attacking people for being there? You know what I'm saying? You got Antifa, which is super left-wing affiliated and far left, far left, way out in left field. And then the left is supposed to be about, treating everybody equally and freedoms. A little gay Asian dude walks down the street, gets beat up. Right? Because it gets beat up. You have an old man. They didn't even know what that old man's politics were. But because they thought he was a Trump supporter, they beat him up. Not one out of all 50 running. And that's what I'm saying. And so right now, honestly, I don't even think any of the people who are running for Democrat really want to win. I just think they want to up their popularity points, and this is the way to do it. You know what I'm saying? Kamala means horrible to finish. That's terrible. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying, It's a lot of crazy stuff going on. And like I say, it's just, I don't know how anybody can see any other outcome besides Trump winning again, honestly. Who is, they'll use Joe Biden as he's the guy that can stand up to him. And like I said, I need to come back to the squad and I will address that. They'll use Joe Biden as the guy. Well, he's establishment, and isn't it funny how everything is kind of flipped, We'll get to that in a second. Let me put the number up. Let's take some calls and all that good stuff. Shout out to Miss Grace. Modest Boy 713. What's the most? Oh yeah, man, look, it is what it is. That's why I say, we were talking about something yesterday, and we were talking about what the fuck were we talking about yesterday? I'm telling you, I do too many things, and I have too much shit going on. What were we talking about yesterday morning? Look, we was talking about kicking people out the race. Oh yeah, that's right. When Prepaid called in, he was talking about why black people will be on, because the conversation kind of changed a little bit to the way people sound and shit. Man, look, we talking about if you are if you talk a certain way, black people be the only ones to say, oh, they ain't black, that they kicking people out, and all that other stuff. Because if you talk a certain way or you dress a certain way, we're the only race that does that. Well, if anybody, every nigga that's voting for Kamala got to get kicked out the race. If you're doing it just because you're getting kicked out, we're kicking you out. I'm revoking all the cards. I can't revoke nobody's card. They took mine a long time ago. They said, oh, you cooning and you doing this and you doing that. So, fuck them. Ain't nobody gonna change my thoughts. Ain't nobody gonna do shit about it. So, you vote for Kamala? Yep. Well, I can't kick you out the race, but I'm gonna take your wrench tomorrow. You vote for Kamala, let me find out. You gonna come back wrenchless. Permanent wrench ban. God damn, I'm trying to remember what yesterday's colorism. Thank you, DeMarco. You are worth the flip. All right, I'm gonna give you I'm saying, look at this thing. Colorism, and how much does colorism has to play into people supporting these 4 congresswomen? Is it an image? Because again, so I want to talk about the Nancy Pelosi comments, and this is where Trump thought he had a little divide in the party, and that's where he slid in to make his comments. So I want to talk about, the Pelosi and the squad also. What's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have calling into the den this afternoon? Why would he say that?
Shit.
What you mean? I don't have.
How you gonna give me? You gonna give me all the pistachios and then you the bot taking them away? No, prejudice ass. Rise up, damn it.
Damn it! I was trying to see. Look, I was trying to let you. I had you muted at first because I figured you was gonna start off the call with the rise up, so I had you muted. So you didn't pull the okey doke on me. You didn't wait it to say the rise up. See, I'm just gonna start muting your whole call and then just play it back later. All right, and I'm wanting the same thing, Kenesha, because that's the time we're gonna get into that. So, what are your thoughts on what Captain Trumpster said, and the squad and everything?
First of all, why is it a fucking surprise to anybody? That's the way he talks. I mean, what he says does not surprise me. Not even before he got in office. I've been watching Trump. I watch his shows and what he's been doing over the years. Like, some people are just now looking at him, all because he became president. This is what he do. This is nothing different. Like, this is regular behavior.
Yeah.
Do I personally believe he's a racist? Yes, I do. I do. And can't nobody change my mind. But still, everybody that stepped foot in that office lied about something. They just didn't lie out loud. I mean, and he just. And I can't really call him a liar because he said this is what he do. Yeah. That's the way he feels. I would rather have a man in front of me that's going to tell me the truth than lie to me than behind my back. You know what I mean? So, I mean, this is what he does. But what scares me really bad is they're going to put anybody in that office just to get him out.
Yeah.
Make people mad. That's what scares me because right now I don't have a candidate I want to pick. There's not Creepy Joe, Kamala. There's not one. Okay, so except for what's his name, Yang. Was he born here?
I think so. I think he was. Don't let me lie on you.
Was his parents born here?
I don't know about that. But, I have to Google
see, that's another thing. I don't care what people think. Once I do vote, I'm going for an American that was born here.
Yeah.
And their parents were born here. I mean, that's the way I feel. I don't think we should have somebody from another country running our country.
But I think he has to have been born here. So I think you have to be born here to run. So
yeah, but was their parents born here? That's the way I feel. Mm-hmm. You see what I mean? Like, I don't know. But anyway, there's not one person. Not right now. There's not. He sounds all right, but some of the stuff he's saying to me is unrealistic. How you gonna give everybody $1,000? I mean, that's just like saying, here's your 40 acres and a mule, which we know we're not gonna get. So it's just not one person. But what I'm scared of is they're gonna try to put anybody. Nobody's listening to really what anybody's saying. They just want to get Trump out, which I believe he's still gonna serve a second term unless he gets impeached, which is not gonna happen either. It's not gonna happen. But To me, they focus on what he says all the time when this is not a freaking surprise. This is how he speaks. This is how he talks. Google him from way back. Look at them interviews from way back. This is the way he talks.
Yeah.
It's not. I laugh at his ass because it's funny when he says shit. Because I know it's not a surprise what come out of his damn mouth. So I laugh. It's not nothing new. It's not a big surprise. It's not a oh my God moment. It's just really not.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. And Yang is his parents are from Taiwan. So he was born here in Manhattan, but his parents are from Taiwan.
See, no thank you. I won't be voting for him either.
That's tough.
But there's nobody I want to vote for right now. Everybody's such big ass babies. And, you know, you're not focusing on the shit you're supposed to be focusing on. Because the news, one thing you did say right, the news will get a little fucking boring when he do get out of office, whether it's this term or 4-5 more years, whatever, you know. But it's not like he hasn't been in the news. It's just people wasn't paying attention. It's not like he hasn't been on CNN. Of course he's on more because he's the president of the United States. You know? And to be honest with you, the way they rolling, now, I said, listen, I do not want him back in. But the way everything is rolling, damn it, just because I done got used to it, just keep him in another 4 years. To get
You got used to it.
I done got used to it.
Oh,
It is
okay.
what it is. Like, my life really hasn't changed. I mean, it has, my job, but that didn't have anything to do with Trump.
Yeah.
You know, my job decided to move my job over to Guatemala. You know, that didn't have anything to do with him. That's them as a company. So I done got used to it. At this point, I'd rather him stay in there. I'd rather him stay in there till they stop all this goddamn fighting. Because, see, right now, they're going to put anybody in there. Anybody. They don't care as long as it's not him. And that's not the way it's supposed to be.
So
I know people might disagree, but still, I'm for real. I'm dead ass serious. It's too much. We look stupid.
So how do you feel, like comparing and not the personal politics? Let's kind of look at it from a world view. When you say, how do you feel the world looked at Barack Obama compared to Donald Trump?
Well, okay, so I'm being honest. I'm not even gonna lie about this. I think they felt like Barack was soft. And see, Trump, he just not about them. Like, he just don't like what them foreign countries. He just don't like them, and he's manhandling them, and they don't like that. Which some of them need to be manhandled, like Kim Jong-un.
Yeah.
Shit, to me, he bowed down. He did what he told him. If he ever see him in person, he's gonna have him killed. Look. They just shook hands, broke bread, drank wine. That's what I just don't think the way they like how he's manhandling. Which I do like that part of Donald Trump. I do like that part. And I did think Barack was a little soft on that end. You know, it's like he wanted to get along with everybody. But suddenly you can't get along with everybody to run your house. You got to keep your house in order, and that requires not getting along with everybody sometimes. You know, it's a lot of things that I do. Like, I didn't think I would like anything he did when he came in, but I'm not no fool. You know, I watch things, and there's a lot of things I do like he did. There's a lot of things I don't like. But one thing he needs to, his mouth. But that's not going to ever change. That's not going to ever change. That man taking that dirt now. His mouth will always be like that. It's always been like that. It'll always be like that.
But do you think he approaches it like that? Because that's just like how you said about with the Little Rocket Man and everything with that. Do you think? I mean, that's just it's ingrained in his character. So anybody who opposes him, and that's why I kind of look at the tweets and stuff like that. Anybody who has said little anything about him, you know, he goes directly at him and he challenges him. And so I understand why people are upset and offended. I definitely do. If he could have stayed out of this one, it would have probably been a win for him. Because again, like I said, I felt like the Democrats were eating each other on this one. But does that same negative that he has, where he says these gaffes that people say are gaffes, is that also that same positive that he has when he's addressing these other countries? And he's showing that when he's laying down the pimp hand strong on these other countries. So is it kind of like you got to take the good with the bad type situation?
Yeah, because he's gonna be the same. Don't laugh when he call that man Rocket Man, and then turn around when he say something over here and get mad because that's just his mouth. That's what he do. That's what he do. You know, he still, regardless, focusing on the wrong shit. That's why they are looking at us like we some fucking fools right now. Because I mean, it's kind of embarrassing because y'all knew first of all. Okay, so when you were younger, you had that positive person say just ignore. When people talk bad to you and this and that. If the news would ignore those little bitty comments, it wouldn't blow up like it does. Because I had no idea he even said that. I had no idea till it was on every social media forum, every channel, every station I turned to. I had no idea he said it. I do watch politics, but I had no idea he said that. But it streams so fast and on so many different platforms that it's like it blew up. And he shouldn't have said it. He shouldn't say it. But that's what he do. When you come in here, if you say something he don't like, it's like a little kid. He gonna try to give you that smoke. That's what Donald do.
Yeah.
So, but if we stop blowing it up so much, every little thing he says, then people can have time to focus on the real agendas.
Exactly. And I think, and I know, like you say, you don't have a candidate right now, but why do you think that it seems like the premise of most of these candidates is to try to just, like the other day, I think when they had that thing, basically it was just, let's just talk about all the bad stuff Donald Trump is as opposed to let me tell you what I can actually do to benefit the country. Do you think that they still are of this mind that he's just going to undermine himself? He's obviously not going to get impeached. So, like, are you thinking that they're just hoping that he's going to do something to himself and somebody falls into the place? Or do you see somebody really providing something of worth in earning that spot as at least a candidate, much less president?
Well, how that first debate went, I mean, I didn't hear nothing nobody really was going to do. They was just saying what he didn't do or what he doesn't do or what happens now. So they need to be focused on really what they are going to lie to us about, because they all lie to us, quote unquote. Okay, pick what you're going to lie to us about and stick with that. Why you stop telling us what this man doing? We sit up here and look at it every day. Anyway, we know this. The reason why I don't have a candidate because nobody's really talking about us. It's like blah blah blah. That's all you hear, blah 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 blah. I mean, even with the Republicans, they going at the Democrats. Tell us what you're going to lie to us about. Tell us what you're doing. Tell us what you're going to try to do. Focus on that. So no, I mean, it's getting close. It's not like it's not coming up soon. You know what I mean? So we got a year and something. Come on now, y'all better be doing something. Be talking about something else besides this man, because he gonna be him to the day he damn die.
Absolutely. Okay.
I just think it's ridiculous for them to keep focused on these damn comments. That's what he does. Okay. They know they ain't going. He can tell you go back home. Well, if you don't like it here, go back. Okay. We deal with that daily on social media. So on some of these posts that you got these little remarks on and stuff. Well, you don't like it, go back home. That's just another quote for them again, which is fine. But you're not going at them like that. Y'all want to focus on putting this shit on every news media, which is crazy.
Right.
We want to turn off the damn TV.
Yeah. That's the way it is, and that's why all these places like CNN, they're losing ratings because people are to the point. It's like, why don't y'all give us news? Why don't y'all give us the information that is going to assist us in our lives? But instead, you'd rather just continue to peddle us this horse shit with no real foundation. If it's a Twitter thing, if I want to follow and see everything that Donald Trump does on Twitter, I'd follow him on Twitter. I don't follow him on Twitter. I don't care. But I see it because so many other people on my timeline.
Shit, I follow him on Twitter. I be rolling.
And they just be all over the place with it. It just, you can't help but see it. So, but again, it works for him. I'm not mad at him because, hey, he's marketing himself in one fashion or another. I mean, I'm not mad at it. But I don't know, is there anything else that you would like to add, Miss Meek?
Nope, that's it. Let somebody else call in. I'm just saying this is just really getting... Like, I took the CNN app off my iPad because they're not even covering what's going on in your local area. Shit didn't happen. Like, this man that killed his whole damn family. And I was like, they're not even covering stuff like that. Like, they're not covering anything that I'm used to them covering. I watched them. Of course, politics going to come in, but I used to watch them because of stuff that was happening in local areas stuff that was going on, like real life shit, like shit we got to deal with every day. We don't walk up to the White House door every day. We don't sit in there every day. Talk about what the hell we're dealing with
Do you
out
think
here on
that?
these streets.
So I got one, one, two little more quick questions for you. So, do you think CNN covered Obama the same way they covered Trump?
They cover no, not like the talk was definitely different. Fox News did now.
Yeah.
But who looked at that? But no, all these news, no, they wasn't. They didn't cover them like they covered. Like they're doing Trump, it was just every little move. Like,
Yes.
as soon as if he step on the helicopter and say "fuck you" to the helicopter person, it's gonna blow up.
Okay.
Like you don't say "fuck you" to people. You know what I mean? Like it's too much.
I walk outside when I
That's
church
why-
first thing of the day. I just say fuck all y'all. I just hope everybody, all my neighbors, everybody not.
Right.
But okay.
And what else you say?
And the other
You
thing,
said one more question.
I was asking, did they cover the same? And the other thing I was going to ask was, it just slipped my mind. It freaking slipped my mind. I'll if I come back to it, I'll either send you a text or I'll post in the chat. So
Okay.
I forgot the other question. But okay. But Miss Mead, I appreciate you calling in and sharing your thoughts.
All right.
All right.
All right.
Sit your ass down. Already. Like I say, it's super funny, right? Because I know a lot of people, and I see a lot of people having a good conversation in the chat about, and yes, call in Miss Grace. I would love to hear about the immigration in the schools. But I see people having in the chat having conversations about, Obama and his legacy as far as black people and everything. And I say that's why it's so funny that all of a sudden after Obama, this whole POC thing, this whole people, like nobody held Obama's feet to the fire about the racial issues that we are perceiving today, right? Feet to the fire, is that like an African thing? Is that racist? I don't know. But anyway, but nobody held Obama's feet to the fire in that sense. Like they're trying to hold Trump, well, Trump is this and Trump is that and Trump is this. Obama had the ability to do a lot of things. If he was able to get things done for the homosexuals, who was a very small percentage. Let me show something, let me see. Oh, that's tough. That's tough, Marie. Let me see what the fuck is going to time. Second DM. Let's see. I don't go down in DM. I need some ink, man. I need a tattoo. I need to get some new ink. This nigga here. Oh shit, Jack! I gotta stop smoking them Black and Milds. That's tough. That shit looks terrible. Damn you, beyond a funny nigga. So, but my thing is this, right? But yeah, the homosexuals, which are small, the LGBT community, I saw people talking about the trans bathroom bill. I am not going to show that. The trans bathroom bill and everything was big issues, right? They were huge issues. I mean, this is taking over, right? Now, I hate this nigga. Fuck it, I said I'll post it up, give me just a second. But, where were all the people who were upset about race then? You know what I mean? About all the racial issues then. Why was nobody holding Obama accountable? This was the guy, this was the man. He secured all of your votes. Let's be honest. Most niggas didn't vote for Donald Trump, but have some form of expectation from him, right? And so I find that funny. I find that very intriguing. Let's take this call while we're getting this party started. Well, what's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have calling into the den this afternoon?
My name is Dolores.
Hello.
I was calling regarding your topic.
Okay.
My opinion is that they speak negative and racism about him so much till it makes me want to throw up. And out of spite, I would vote for him again. He's done nothing wrong. He's done nothing wrong but being a man that speaks his mind. And I just don't like Nancy Pelosi and the squad anymore. Don't like them at all.
Okay. So, like, what is it about them that kind of turns you off from them, the squad and Nancy Pelosi?
If they keep hollering racism, they don't want to. They don't want to work.
No.
They just want to just damage his presidential. They just want to tarnish it. They walked in when they had they all a purple, which is they resist color. They just wanted to just destroy this man, and only God knows why. Because compared to him and Barack Obama was just a smooth. He was just, to be honest with you, the coolest president I think I've ever seen in my life.
Okay. So do you think that they do that because they don't really have a foundation, so their whole goal is just to undermine what Trump is doing, so they to make them seem relevant, or like what do you think is their purpose in doing that? Do you think they have an ulterior motive?
Yeah, I really do. I think they do have a motive. They number one motive is to get back in power, and the second thing is by him being a businessman, and I'm pretty sure he's done some things that he's not proud of, but most businessmen do.
Yes.
And I think that he's gotten a lot of enemies on the way, and they're holding this stuff personal.
Okay. So you think that he's going to be reelected in 2020?
Absolutely. If he's not reelected, he was robbed. And the reason I say he's going to be reelected, number one, is that the stock markets are up, unemployment is doing good, and he's actually supporting the African Americans, and we really don't see it, because if a lot of illegals, no disrespect to them, if they come over, break the law, and they'd be okay in breaking the law, what's wrong with them breaking the law again and going back home?
Exactly.
And why would they allow them to break the law? And our African American brothers break the law, and they get locked up. They hunt them down. They pull them over. And we're talking about racial profiling. Please, I don't understand how they would stand for someone breaking the law and won't give us a break. I have a problem with that. I mean, I just have a problem with that. If they treat them the way they treat our people, no disrespect to nobody, then maybe I can sit down and listen to them. But they just wrote us off.
Yeah.
The African Americans, they have wrote us off.
So you feel like, because it seems like to me that this election cycle, or now as the debates are starting and things like that, that the Democrats have heavily focused on illegal immigration or immigration and reform or whatever you want to call it, and people are talking about giving them free health care, about giving them, opportunities that aren't given to people who are already citizens of this country. Why do you think that they're going in that direction?
I agree with everybody else, just for the vote, to get back in power. I really believe this. I think that they're going to go ahead and document them, give them their driver's license, and know where they're at. And as soon as they get in power, they're going to start doing the raids and getting them out. Because Barack Obama did it.
No.
I think it's a trap. They buying into it. They're signing up. You go right ahead. As soon as they get in office, they're going to write that law, and they're coming for your ass.
Okay. I can agree with that. I could definitely agree with that. You have any other thoughts that you would like to share with the folks in the den?
Well, I enjoy your show. I listen to your show at work, and to be honest with you, I've creeped in the back just to call in because I am really, really passionate about this. I just really want us African Americans to stick together just once.
Yes.
If we want to get the reparations, if we want to demand them to give us something for our vote, let's stick together just on this one agenda. Just this one thing. Let's see if we can stick together, because no disrespect again, the illegals, they are sticking together. When they did that flag in Colorado, that lets the world know right there that they ain't no joke.
Yeah. That's wild. That's.
So that.
I agree with you.
Go
I
ahead.
agree. We have, if we want anything done, we have to unify in some form, and I think that's the problem. Is that there's too many divisive ideologies. Certain people want this, certain people want that. Certain people make it more about, a sex issue. Certain people are making it more about a race issue. But we need to come together and have a solid platform if we're going to get anything done. As long as we stay divided, you'll get nothing out of anything, and they'll just keep getting the votes.
I agree. We have to stand for something this time. Like they say, you either stand or you fall for everything. And I have never in my life seen such a chaos. I mean, this shit is crazy on the for real side.
Mm-hmm.
You got the young squad don't know where the hell they're going, and Nancy Pelosi won't talk to them. This stuff is crazy. I'll be honest with you, they all can go. Republican and Democrat. Let's go all independent. Let's get our own party.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something.
But I'm gonna get back to work so I can stay employed. I enjoy your show.
All right, thank you, Mr. Lewis. I appreciate you calling in.
All right, bye-bye.
All right, bye. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. Shout out to Mr. Lewis. I believe that's a first-time call. This is what I'm gonna start doing. I'm gonna start showing y'all some love. Anytime we get well, I didn't say it before this one, so y'all ain't getting no love on this one. But from now on, we start getting first-time callers. I'm gonna give y'all the sweetberry treatment and start hooking y'all up with some stachios. What's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have calling into the den this afternoon?
Hey, what's up, Honcho? It's Bretto. How you doing, man?
Bretto, what's the motherfucking deal, brother? What's on your mind, man? How you feeling today, brother?
Oh, nothing's on my mind. Pretty sober today, unfortunately. Probably gonna be all quiet and shit.
No, it's all good.
But I had a bunch of coffee and energy drinks, so I'm a little hyper. But not talking to you.
Okay. So what's on your mind? How you feeling about this topic today, man?
Okay, about the topic, I was gonna say, I hate all these Democrats running for president. I really don't like them, to be honest with you. They all fucking suck.
Mm-hmm.
There's a couple that are all right. What's that dude, Andrew Yang?
Yeah.
He's all right. Tulsi, yeah, she's all right. I'm still kind of, I don't know if I trust them. And most people are going to fucking hate me for saying this, but the only candidate I think would be decent, but he'll never win, and check this out, everybody's going to be talking shit when I say this, but you got to hear why I think this, is Bernie Sanders.
Mm.
You know why I say that, though?
All right, why is that?
Because the reason I say Bernie Sanders is because he's anti-Federal Reserve.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he wants to break up the banks. But because of that, Honcho, the globalists will never let him win. But that's why I think he's decent out of most of them. But some of the other shit he says, like, he brings up political correctness a lot, too. So I'm like, I don't really care much for him either.
No.
But you get what I'm saying.
No.
Yeah. But, and like I said, I'm not really a fan of him, but I think he's better out of all of them because I think he's more legit when it comes to the Federal Reserve. But he'll never win because of that. Mm-hmm. Now, when it comes to Trump, I've been neutral pretty much. Like, I voted for him, but, I mean, I've been kind of neutral. I think he's a little better than, some of the other Democrats running because he's so anti-social justice warrior. And so, like, I guarantee you, a lot of people probably voted for him just to fucking piss off all these social justice warriors, But to be honest with you, Honcho, I don't trust him either, though. And I like I said, I was neutral, but not anymore. I think he's better than the Democrats, but I don't trust him because, honestly, he's controlled opposition. Like, he's just an Illuminati puppet. You know what I mean? There's no way in hell they would let him be president. He's a fucking puppet, dude. He's just controlled opposition. So where we could think, oh, well, he's one of us, but in reality, he's not. He's just another one of them just acting like he's us. That's controlled opposition, the definition of it right there. Now, check this out. If Trump were legit, he would have ended the globalist wars. He would have shut down the Federal Reserve. He'd bring back Abe Lincoln's greenback government-issued currency, or he would use gold as currency so we don't need to rely on the Federal Reserve. Now, check this out. Now, like I said, I was neutral for the longest time, but just recently, Trump said something that made me really fucking pissed off. That's what he said. He doesn't consider Bitcoin currency.
Yes.
He doesn't like Bitcoin. He thinks you should only use Federal Reserve currency. Right? You hear about that?
Yeah.
That pissed me off. Because, check this out. Bitcoin is what will destroy the Federal Reserve. That's why they hate it so much. They're not making shit off of it. And Bitcoin is our last hope of defeating globalism and restoring fucking democracy that we've lost, man. And I feel really strongly about this. I really do, Honcho.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's why, like, I can't trust him. Like, I think he's a little better, but still, I can't lie, bro. I think he's controlled opposition, to be dead-ass serious with you. And then I want to say one more thing, because I got to go to work, but I want to talk about Nacho, because Nacho was talking shit about me a couple of videos back then. He's like, oh, you sound gay or something like that. Bitch, you sound like a fucking crackhead, Nacho. Fuck you. And then I think that other dude, what's his name? Noah Click or whatever the fuck that dude. I think that's his troll account, bro, because he said the same shit, bro. So fuck you too, Noah. I bet you're the same bitch, Nacho. All I got to say, Honcho, take it easy, bro.
All right, Bretto. Shout out to Bretto in the morning, man. Everybody needs a little bit of Bretto in the morning, man. Oh, man. Prepaid, what's the motherfucking deal? Rashida, what's the motherfucking deal? Juan, what's the motherfucking deal, man? Interesting. Very, very interesting. And that was funny because people were saying Bretto and Nacho sounded the same. They thought they were the same guy. So that's super funny. What's the motherfucking deal? Who we got calling in to the den this afternoon?
What's good, Honcho? That's prepaid.
Prepaid. What's the motherfucking deal, man? I know something on your mind on this one, man. How you feel about today's topic?
Man, I'm gonna let y'all in a secret that a lot of y'all haven't caught on to. See, what people haven't realized is that they're gonna call Trump a racist regardless of the fact, right? So let me tell you what Trump just did. The squad, the four idiots, aka the four headless horsemen who just ride around saying dumb shit. Everything with them is about race. So what they do is they use, if you question them, if you challenge anything they're saying, they call you racist. So them and Pelosi, Nancy Pelosi, Speaker of the House, were beefed out. And what Nancy Pelosi said was, y'all have a lot of Twitter followers, but that doesn't do anything when it comes to politics. Y'all got 4 votes.
Yeah.
Like the Green New Deal didn't get any votes.
Yes.
Like all the stuff that y'all put out there doesn't get any votes. So when that happened, what Trump says was, no, wait a minute. If y'all don't like this country and y'all have all these ideas, how about y'all go to the country where y'all originally from, fix their problems, come back and then show us how it's done. Yeah. Now everybody says, see, Trump did that, and the Democrats, now they're coming together, man. We should let them just fight amongst themselves. Let me tell you what he's doing to you. See, the squad, the 4 people on the squad, they're so far left and so fake progressive that he wants the Democratic Party to focus on them. See, get away from the center motherfuckers, like the Bernie Sanders and the Joe Biden, the people who are like actually gonna make sense. Get away from them. Keep the party focused on these 4 retards. These are the same 4 idiots who are telling you that we need to just get rid of ICE completely, get rid of motherfucking the border, get rid of Border Patrol, call everything a concentration camp, and say that everybody is caged up these children. So this is the funny part that a lot of people don't know that 85% of the people who work on the border are Latino. 85%. So anybody to go back and look at it, when Trump was running, he told y'all we had a crisis at the border. We have a serious humanitarian crisis at the border. And you know what AOC's told everybody? There is no crisis. He's creating this. He just wants money to build this wall. If you don't agree with what I'm saying, look up the Humanitarian Act. Trump has asked for $4.6 billion to fix the problem at the border, such as lack of funding for detention centers, lack of supplies. You know what these women all said? Not a single penny. Not a single penny. And no one caught on to why they're saying not a single penny. Let me tell you the reason why. See, in Congress, you pass legislation to pay for this type of stuff. See, they don't give a shit about none of these people at the border. They don't. So what they do is they'll say some inflammatory shit, and then for people who live off emotion, they'll say, well, why is Trump not doing nothing? Retard, he can't. He's asking y'all for the funding so it can be fixed, but y'all don't actually care about the kids. Y'all don't care about the quote-unquote concentration camps because y'all won't pass any bills to get it fixed. So all Trump is gonna do is he gonna keep poking at you and keep poking at you and poking at you, and he's poking at you for a reason. While everybody's talking about how Trump is racist, guess what Trump did? He passed an asylum law that if you from Latin America, you have to seek asylum from another country before coming to America. Yeah. Why ain't none of them talking about this? Because the quote-unquote squad only care about themselves. They care about getting Twitter followers, getting retweets, and getting IG posts and going on the cover of Time magazine. That shit means nothing. That shit means nothing. You wanna know how I can prove it means nothing? Pete Booty Clap, he was on the cover of Time. He gonna be the first motherfucker they finna eliminate in the presidential election. Yeah. See these quote unquote new progressive people, they're the same people who haven't caught on to how the real world works. So there's people who, I don't know if they're millennials or what you describe these people, but they live through social media. They feel like if I get enough followers, people are gonna like me more, and I can control shit. AOC is the same person who will get on Twitter and have all these fire ass tweets. Then she questions the person who was over ICE for 34 years, and had no idea that you enter into America illegally is a crime. Yeah. The guy's like, no, it's a crime. She's like, if you're seeking asylum, it's not a crime. If you illegally enter and not the actual port, it is a crime. You retard. She doesn't even know the basic shit. She doesn't even know the basic shit. But for anybody who actually likes AOC, let me tell you what's going to happen to her. She's going to get unseated. They got a quote-unquote POC running in New York, a businesswoman, Republican, originally from Jamaica. Good luck using the race card now, bitch. Your time is up. Your time is up. Your time is up. It came that fast and flashed that quick. I don't have any respect for anybody, quote-unquote, person of color if that's all you're going to use. So let me get this straight. So Nancy Pelosi told y'all to stay off of Twitter. She racist. Yeah. So Trump, being the person he is, say, well, I guarantee you Nancy Pelosi wants y'all out of here. Now he racist. So every time somebody challenged them, they racist. Ben Shapiro said he wanted to debate AOC. Guess what happened? She said he was catcalling her. How the fuck is a person debating you on policy, you going to catcall them? Have you seen yourself, woman, ugly as you are? Man. And, oh, my God. What's the one with the thing on her head? What's her name?
Omar. Ilhan Omar.
Ilhan Omar. Yeah. Let me tell y'all about this one. This is the best one for me. She's the greatest one. Someone did something on 9/11. Some people will not come out and disown Al Qaeda, but will sit here and tell how America is racist. Right. Go back to Somalia. Go back. You are exactly who Trump is talking about. If America is that bad and you hate it here that much, go back. Go back.
Straight up.
Go back. It's not that hard. But see, the harsh reality of it is that you don't want to come back and say that you came to this country to seek asylum because this country is that great. So what they do is they keep telling you about how rich white people are controlling everything and how life is fucked up for you because of rich white people. America is terrible. It's racist. They just want to take all your, because if you're not rich and white, then you're not a rich white man. It's racist. No. What's really going on is they're fear-mongering you and telling you this rich white man got his foot on your neck, when in reality, don't nobody give a shit about you. Ain't nobody monitoring what you're doing. Ain't nobody stopping you from being great. You ain't great because you don't want to be great. While they keep telling you this shit and telling you how they don't need millionaires, and they're millionaires. Exactly. They're making $180,000 plus all the side shit they get paid for. AOC gonna keep telling you about how she was a bartender 10 years ago. Don't I give a shit about that? Baghead that married her brother to sneak him into the country, and they gonna tell you about how the law is unfair. She married her brother. I hate every last one of them idiots. And it's not because they're women or all this bullshit. It's because what they do is they distance themselves, and then every time someone go their way, they yell out racism. Let me help y'all out before I get off this phone. anytime a person constantly yells out racism, every time something happens, you know what happens when you hear that word? It loses its weight. You don't care about it no more, and I can prove it. About 6 months ago to a year, every time somebody called somebody toxic on Twitter, it was like, no, I'm not toxic. Man, don't call me that shit. And then what happened was people started making a joke about being toxic. Then people start calling everything toxic. Now when a person calls you toxic, no one gives a shit. Y'all have called Trump racist for everything, so now guess what? It don't matter no more. That word doesn't hold any weight. That word doesn't hold any weight. And let me tell you one last thing before I roll, Honcho, because this is a very big point. Okay. The same way these silly ass four horsemen or four idiots, the same way they have all these tweets talking about shit, let me tell you what Twitter does to you. The same thing that empower you is going to hurt you. Because when you get ready to run again and people say, what about this when you make this kind of open borders? You can't win when you try to get votes again talking about open borders and not having a actual border patrol. Yeah. She gonna say, no, I never said that, and they gonna post all her tweets. So you can try to delete that shit. See, the same thing that built you up will tear you down. This is what Pelosi is trying to explain to us. See, when Joe Biden said some wild shit back in the 80s, we just forgot about it. Ain't it on record? He don't tweet the shit out. Yeah. I mean, I may have said that, but I don't know. Maybe I didn't say it. No. We got you on record now. And I've said it once. I said it again. I'm saying it for the 15,000th time. Until you are running on policy, Donald Trump is going to destroy you, period. Until you get some policy that beats what he's doing, he's going to kill you. So the squad is all non-factor in my opinion. You got any questions for me?
Man, no, sir. I think you laid it down.
Y'all be blessed.
No, I really appreciate it, Prepay. Man, I don't look. But see, here's what you got to understand. I see somebody saying, well, you can say the same thing about Trump. Well, the difference is the principles in which people are allegedly running on. So if you got these Democrats where we're equality and we love everybody and everything for everyone, you know, and you're singling out certain groups or you're singling out certain people or you're saying certain things that can be considered questionable, then hey, you know, that stuff is going to hate you because the Democratic Party is too divided at this point. Everything offends everybody. Everybody's mad about everything. If a man wins the nomination, they're going to be mad. What's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have calling in to the Den this afternoon?
Am I live, Honcho?
Yes, live.
Oh, this is only one lie. Hi.
Oh, okay. Only one lie. What's the motherfucking deal? What's on your mind? It must be important.
Know what's on my mind.
All right, talk to us.
I don't even know how to get through, but I had to call in for this.
Okay. Well,
I don't know what Prepaid is talking about, but everything that he said, you could turn right back on to Trump.
Okay.
Turn it right back on to him. I don't really mess with whoever the squad is. I don't deal with stuff like that. What I do deal with is people saying certain things that are just not true, and that's not true what he said. You can say whatever you want about those congresswomen. Personally, AOC to me is Trump wannabe. You know that. I'm from New York. We know Donald Trump. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people, what he is a demagogue. And a demagogue is a person that will do and say whatever and stroke fears in people for political purposes and to remain in power. So my thing about him is that what bothers me so much about what he said was where's he sending people back to? And if that wasn't a white supremacist remark, then okay, like, I'll put it to you like this. Where are we going? White supremacist looks at your outside, your exterior. And I told my son last night, line people up and look through a white supremacist's eyes. And you'll see just how they think. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, where would he send you to? You know?
I'm probably going to Jamaica, but I ain't going nowhere. But my thing is, was it?
I know, but you know, when you allow for people to say certain things, and you allow for them to just keep getting away with the certain things they say, and it doesn't strike a chord in you, that's stuff that best behaviors that you're starting to be okay with. And I think that as Americans, we're beginning to be okay with whatever he does and whatever he says, and that's not okay.
Okay. But what about the one who's actually from somewhere else? Does that still hold
Only
the
one,
same
but
weight?
you know what? He said it to all of them, and that's the thing. So we're from here, all of us, like, except her. And I don't really pump with her. I don't really know much about her. I mean, I think she does come from a position where you can challenge her on some of her things, and she does come from a racist position in her own self. So, I mean, like, calling him a racist and him calling you a racist, that's like the same thing in my book, you know? Like, same thing. Like, y'all calling each other what y'all are. AOC, she's looking for attention, you know what I'm saying? This is how, like, some people in New York are, you know? Like, they do things for that. But Donald Trump is from New York as well. So when I come from a place called New York, so I know exactly what's being done. He doesn't have the qualifications to be the president in which we need. Our world stage is just terrible. I think he's the Manchurian candidate, to tell you the truth. I think he's the Manchurian candidate. I think his whole reason for being in office is that puppet that's going to take us down a couple of pegs from being number one on the world stage, bring up other political powers in other countries, and it's going to benefit him financially. And as we do not take our positions in challenging him, I mean, come on, he does things that we just don't know presidents to do, and we accept it. Like, you talk about Obama, and I have my gripes with all of them, believe me, but you talk about Obama being on the golf course, and you're on the golf course every weekend, and we're okay. No. You know, it has to be a balance and a level, and some people have to be held accountable. You don't want our kids to be thinking that this is okay, because once you start on this type of train, you stay on this type of train. And as far as the Democrats, I'm neither one. I'm independent. But what I won't do is I won't, like, give credit to fuck shit. I don't do that. Like, I don't, not at all. If you're wrong, you're wrong. He shouldn't have said it. In the same way you say, when did we start letting people, manage us by a tweet? When? These are the things that are becoming acceptable, and just the same way Prepaid said, AOC, that's going to come back to haunt her. It's going to come back to haunt Trump too.
But do you think it will? Because, I mean,
Yes.
Trump has said any and everything, and I think what it comes down to is, again, the parties and their willingness to support or stay in power, or however you want to look at it. Because I think the issue is with the Democrats right now, you have so many people fighting for so many different bullshit ass beliefs. And so what I'm saying is that not all of them are bullshit, but you have,
because he has us all separated. Like, he has us all,
No.
like he single-handedly has taken his small part of people that I want, his base, and he only governs to them. I watch him, and I don't disagree with a lot of stuff that he's doing, especially when immigration. If you're not looking, then it's going to get done to you. Their immigration is broken. It's been broken. So by it being broken, any type of patchwork that they do is not going to fix it. The reason why that money did not come in, and it's because the Republicans did not accept that money, because it was attached to DACA. The money was offered. Republicans turned the money down because DACA was attached to it, and they didn't want to give those kids citizenship. That's why they didn't take the money. But they'll, put this smoke and mirrors up and stuff. And the Democrats do it too. This is why I'm independent. So I'm just sitting here saying, because I read the laws, I watch what people do underneath, So I be like, okay, so now he done slid in this whole, and what he's doing is making blanket statement laws. And that's scary. A blanket statement law means, like, you can't come in here and seek asylum from any country if you cross the country to get. Who doesn't cross the country to get into a country?
but here's the deal though. So you don't think that, do you find it odd that if it's people who are really seeking out asylum, quote unquote, and not really a better life, better job opportunity, all that stuff, they're really just seeking asylum. These other countries offer asylum that they're crossing over into Mexico offers asylum to these
We
people.
would never know.
But here's the deal.
No, why we would never know?
Why wouldn't we know?
Because immigration is broken.
But what I'm saying is, why aren't these people, the individuals themselves, who are claiming that they're seeking asylum, Why don't they seek asylum in these other countries that they're passing up along the way? Why does it have to be America?
Obama did a not so good thing, probably a bad thing. I'll call it spade a spade. When he went on the world stage and he said that you have to, like every country has to take a certain amount, and then America didn't take their certain amount, and so what that does into this new presidency is it says, okay, you know, you're owed these people, you know. And what Donald Trump is saying is that we ain't owed nothing, you know. But with immigration broken, we can't be a world stage leader, you know, and do stuff in the United Nations and say, oh, okay, this is what we're all going to agree to, and then everybody agrees to it, and then we don't hold up to our part.
But you don't think that with the numbers that I'm sure that are inflated, because it's not everybody's registered. I mean, trust me, there's a lot of people getting in compared to those who are following the right process. I mean, even Cory Booker went and brought some people who were already in the asylum program and brought them back illegally for whatever reason, which is stupid. If you're already in the process of seeking asylum and you go and you bring them back across the border, which is stupid to me. You don't think that America has its fair share?
I agree with a lot of stuff that he does. Like, I agree with the roundup, and people want to give me flack for it, but I agree with the roundup. I agree with the roundup, and I don't agree that the Democrats said to fight back if they come to your door. Listen, you know, you didn't show up to court, and you got to leave. I mean, what's right is right, and what's wrong is wrong. That doesn't even put a dent into the people that are hiding out here that came through here and didn't seek no type of citizenship at all. But I believe that those people that he's targeting them for the right reasons. So it's not like I'm not, like we know in New York, we know Donald Trump. What he is doing is, what he's done, he's a fabricator, and he's a brand. That's what he does well, and he's doing that well as the president. But some of the things that the Republicans are not doing scares me. You know, just because, you know, you like and it has like an undertone of white supremacy to me. Just to me, that's my opinion. Because certain things, when they're said, words hurt. You know, so when I read that, I was like, oh shit.
Okay, so do you think that if there was a different level of support from, and me personally, I mean, I guess, you know, people are going to perceive things differently, you know. I see where people can say, oh, that was racist, because, you know, hey, everybody's, oh, well, go back to your country, you know, and I understand all that. But, well, one, if this is the country I've been from, that shit don't mean anything for me. I've been here my whole life. And then two, you know, my thing is, and I can understand when maybe he's pointing out the one chick, you got the other ones. I think two of them are Muslims, if I'm not mistaken. And then
I think Rashida. I think the girl Rashida. I don't know much about the Presley girl, but I think the Rashida congresswoman is a Muslim, and the Omar girl is a Muslim.
Okay. And then so, like I said, I can understand where you feel that way. And again, it is kind of is what it is. But you know, like I say, Trump is he's always, to me, I think, and what Prepe said about that asylum thing. Yeah, and so what he did is now you have, like Prepe said, you have people gravitating in here. They're appeasing the far left, which is what AOC and these other four women are. And honestly, they've done surveys recently, but amongst Democrats, most of them don't support any of these women. But now, because
throw spaghetti up against the wall and see what sticks. Yeah. I don't agree with Democrats at all. I just think that there's too many people out there. There's not one viable candidate. And you know, my thing is that it's the desire to get him out, which is going to keep him in. Yeah. Because if you want something so bad enough, if you want something so bad, it becomes really hard for you to obtain.
Yeah, no, I get you. And so instead of focusing on themselves, so right now, if it came down to, if the election was tomorrow, would you be participating? Would you be staying out? Would you be voting for Trump, or do you think that there will be a candidate will rise to the forefront with some actual policy? That can be. If
the election was today, I'd probably vote Bill de Blasio.
Why de Blasio? I'm hearing in de Blasio that y'all want him out.
Huh? Because you know what? It takes a New Yorker to beat a New Yorker.
I'm hearing that. I've heard they don't even want him in.
And if you notice, your bad boy Trump just totally disregards Bill de Blasio because New Yorkers know Trump, and you know he knows that you was born and raised here, you know? So if anybody, just like I was like, you know what, if like, even if, what's his name, Andrew Cuomo, or what's the other one, the other billionaire, Mike Bloomberg, I was like, any New Yorker that comes in, because you know what, New Yorkers know how to sell Kool-Aid. This is what Trump did.
I don't know
Sold
about that Kool-Aid. Look, I heard y'all can't even make sweet tea.
Kool-Aid is always mixed flavor.
Nah, see, I'm not learning about y'all up north's tea. I don't want none of y'all Kool-Aid either. See, you can't be
We put a lot of sugar in it, make it sweet.
All right, y'all might be all right then. Y'all might be all right. If it ain't instant diabetes, I don't want that shit.
We don't have diabetes here.
Y'all got the cold freeze it away. But okay, so your stance is that you just, like you say, you're in the middle. And
I just want people to do their homework. And, like what call out was, what I don't like about Trump supporters wholeheartedly is that, the shit that he's saying is wrong, But you're so on his team, it's like, oh, I'll disregard that, and I'll just be like, okay, we'll let him slide because we've been letting him slide. And it's like, no, because while he's sliding, a lot of stuff is going on the world stage. You know what I'm saying? He wanted to be all touting the fact that he's the first president to, step into North Korea. Did you ever think why the other presidents would not? And then what happened? That was 2 weeks ago. And now what happened? Kim Jong-un is like, oh, we're about to start our missile stuff up again. We got a problem. This is why people don't do these things with North Korea, because North Korea has been the same actor all the time. But he doesn't look at that because he's looking at his position in things. Meanwhile, he got this trade war going on, and all it's doing is affecting our prices. So you think China will keep going to the table? It's a lot, So I called in, give me my pistachios.
Nah, because you ain't agree with me 100%. You don't get no pistachios.
I'll agree with you. I'm just me and you are on the same page.
Nah, I got you. I'm just messing with you. You ain't got to agree with me. Nah, definitely. I'll give you pistachios. I'm just talking shit. Since you don't call in too often, I got to harass you while I can.
Well, last time I tried to call in, I broke the shit.
It happens,
everything was broken, like the whole stream went off. I was like, ooh,
It happens.
I better stay the chat burglar.
All right. Okay, well, Miss Only One, well, I appreciate it. I'm dialing up your pistachios right now, so you can't be like Shannon, nobody.
That's right, and give Sweetberry some too, because she didn't start with me today. So give her some.
I ain't giving her shit.
Give her some. I look out.
She got hooked up the other day. She don't need no more.
It's me. She better stop stealing my stuff. That's what I'm gonna say.
Okay. All right,
I appreciate you. For me.
All right, appreciate the call.
All right, peace.
Shout out, looking to the East Coast. Got some East Coast love. What's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have calling into the den this afternoon?
Oh, what's up? It's John from New York. How you been?
Hey, what's the motherfucking deal, John? Man, good to hear from. How you? Another New Yorker. What are your stance? Do you agree with the last caller? Do you have some different views? How you feeling, John?
I agree with. We're talking about Trump versus the 4 Democrats, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I agree 100% with Trump.
Okay.
So I don't know exactly what part of that whole thing you guys are talking about right now. If you can enlighten me, I'd love to comment on it.
We've actually been kind of all over the place. We kind of addressed the issue with what he said about them going back. Then we kind of addressed the 4 horsemen, the 4 idiots, as it was referred to earlier, and their stance and how their premise is primarily race based. How they're kind of far left and kind of dividing the party a little bit. We talked about the little beef between Pelosi and them, and Trump kind of seeing that as an opportunity to pounce. And just kind of, we've kind of been all around, not just specifically on the tweets themselves, but we've kind of been talking about all the parties involved in different aspects. So just kind of however you feel about the whole situation.
Well, in regards to the tweets, obviously, I think a lot of people could see how people would think they're racist, because these days, if you say the slightest thing, you're racist, you're sexist, you're homophobic, etc. But in reality, is the people that he's attacked in terms of calling them son of a bitches, or in terms of go back to your country. These are not people that said 1 or 2 things to criticize the U.S. Because if that was the case, then I think every single one of us would have to go back somewhere, because everyone, no one thinks America or any other country is perfect. He's singling out people who for months and for years, time after time, have said nothing about negative things. Colin Kaepernick, he points out all the negativity about America, but never talks about any of the great things about America. These four ladies that are these four congresswomen, they never ever talk about anything good about America. Yet, Ilhan Omar, she had to come here because of her war-torn BS country. She came here. We gave her an opportunity to asylum. Now she's a congresswoman in the greatest country in the world. She talks about how she praises Al-Qaeda. She laughs about how Americans are scared when they hear the word Al-Qaeda, but they're not scared when they hear the word Israel. It's like, give me a damn break. The woman, they've never said anything good about America. We all know America's not perfect. We all know America has its history and still has things that are not good about it. But to sit here and only pounce on negative things day in and day out, look at their YouTube videos, look at their Twitter, their tweets. All they're talking about is how Israel's the worst, America's the worst, white people are the worst, Christianity's the worst, but they never, ever, ever talk about any of the good things in America. So, I mean, it's like being in a relationship with, you're a heterosexual man. If you're in a relationship with a woman and all she ever does is point out all the horrible things about you every single day, but never talks about any of the good things, you're eventually going to turn around and say, yo, why the fuck are you with me? Get out if I'm so fucking horrible. You know what I mean? Like, if you can't learn to balance the good and the bad and, and give compliments as well as talk about things you want to make better, what's the point? You're just a negative person. They're not interested in making anything better for America. They're just interested in making a lot of noise and just making people feel sorry for them. They're using people for their votes, just like the majority of politicians. So when Trump said go back, honestly, I don't think he was harsh enough because it's a fucking joke. What else you want to talk about?
Whatever's on your mind. Why are you not a fan of maybe AOC or the rest of those ladies? Is there something in particular that they've done that you're not keen on? You kind of up in the East Coast, New York? I think you said you were in the New York area, right?
Yeah, I'm in New York. I mean, AOC's district is probably like a half-hour car ride from me. And by the way, I think today, it must have been today, but I saw a bunch of tweets from a woman running for office. She's actually going to run to unseat AOC. She is a immigrant, Republican immigrant Jamaican woman living in Queens and I think Bronx, New York. So she's running against AOC directly. She's put out ads today on I think YouTube and her website talking about how AOC is not good for the county and for the country, this and that. And I don't think I could vote for her because I don't live in her district. I'm pretty sure I can't, but I would love to vote for her. So, I mean, she came to the country legally. She has a family. They did everything the right way, the conservative way. She talked about how AOC cost, Queens, New York, like something like 25,000 jobs that were all paying over the average for the tri-state area. So, I mean, as far as it's talking about AOC, talking about kids are in concentration camps. First of all, the Jews didn't willingly walk into concentration camps. They were forced into concentration camps. They weren't seeking asylum. They were living in Germany. So for someone to walk across the border illegally and then get put into a holding, whatever you want to call a holding pen or whatever, you chose that. You know that in order to legally go through asylum, you have to go through a port of entry, but they don't do that because they know that they're not going to get qualified for asylum because you have to have certain specifications to qualify for asylum. You have to come from a war-torn country. You have to be a victim of war, et cetera, et cetera. They don't qualify for that, so they don't go through the port of entry. That's why these illegal immigrants are where they are right now. Oh, they're drinking out of toilets. No, they're not. Like, give me a damn break. They're stirring up lies because they know humans work off of emotions, and they know that every group of Americans or every group of people in this world have pride for their culture, for their nationality, for their race, for their gender, etc. That's all they're doing is they're working off people's emotions. The bottom line is if you don't want to be put in a fucking cage, don't do illegal shit. If you don't want to get separated from your kids and go to jail, don't commit a crime. It's the same thing. It's just, but this day and age, you can't tell someone, there's a penalty for your actions. Everyone wants to be able to rage and say what they want, and then when someone turns around and says, hey, but all of a sudden they flip out. Social media is the devil. Single-parent homes are the devil. Yeah, politicians not telling the truth are the devil. You got so many devils. So the bottom line is they're a joke. You can disagree with me all you want, and all I would say is prove your point. Prove your point. People who come through the port of entry and they qualify for asylum, get asylum. And I was talking to someone not too long ago who was from Venezuela. She was here on asylum. She got it. So the bottom line is you can get it if you do it the right way. But nobody wants to wait. People know they're full of it, so they're not gonna. So they know they're not going to get it. So they don't wait. Same thing with the ICE raids they just did. They did ICE raids during Obama. They did ICE raids under Clinton. But now all of a sudden Trump is the racist? Give me a damn break. It's no different. And as far as Joe Biden running for president, how the hell is he going to win? He was Obama's sidekick, so he's going to be Obama 2.0. Obama did nothing for black people, but this old scroggly white man's going to do something for black people. Obama did everything for gays, illegal immigrants, trannies, women, did nothing for black people, but Biden's white ass will do something for black people? He ain't going to do shit. The only reason why he's talking about reparations is because he thinks black people are stupid, but he knows they're not that stupid. So he's going to turn around and say, I'll give you reparations because I can't keep talking about illegal immigrants and not offer black people something, because without black people, I can't win. Fact. Democrats cannot win without the black vote. It's a fact. So he ain't gonna do nothing. What's he gonna do? He was in office with the first quote unquote black president for 8 years and didn't do a goddamn thing. But now also he's gonna do everything. He's gonna cure cancer. He's gonna give black people reparations. He's gonna make every illegal immigrant legal and give them everything free. But he didn't do shit for 8 years when he was in office. And for the first 2 years, he had a completely Democrat Congress, and he did nothing. Didn't even talk about reparations. Didn't even talk about giving illegal immigrants anything. But now he's gonna do it all of a sudden. Give me a break. I'm convinced that the American voter is the dumbest voter in the world. That's why we're in this position, because people don't educate themselves. What else were we talking about? Man. So we got Biden out the way. We got Trump's comments out the way. What else you talking about?
Man, you on fire today, John. Let me see. Did you hit on illegal immigration? What are your thoughts about that situation? I want to say that took place in Colorado, where the guy firebombed the facility. I don't know if you heard about that.
What, the ICE facility?
Yeah.
He's an idiot.
Like,
it's talking about bum rushing ICE facility. It's talking about bum rushing Area 51. Listen, they got armed guards. It's top secret places. It's federal things. You do what you want. I mean, do what you want. But when you get shot and killed, don't come. You play stupid games. You win stupid prizes. Like, there is a way to get things done. Like, people always complain to me about whether it's politics or, whatever. I'd always say, well, what are you going to do? It's constructive to change. Are you going to run for Congress? Are you going to run for Senate? Are you going to run to be the mayor of your little town? Like, what are you going to do? Are you donating your time? Are you donating goods to homeless? Like, what are you doing to help the cause instead of sitting here and bitching to me about it? You know what I mean? Like, I donate to people. I donate my time. I donate clothes to the church. If I see somebody in need, I help them. If they see a homeless person, I don't give them money. I say, can I buy you a meal? Like, I do my little part to help, and it makes a little tiny bit of a difference. But it's a lot more than a lot of people are doing out there. So what I would say is, instead of bum rushing ICE, run for Congress, like these 4 congresswomen did, and they got elected, and then shoot your shot in Congress and try and get your bills passed.
I agree. That's the way it's instead of almost killing the people you're trying to help by fucking up the facility that they're in, but that's a whole.
Yeah, but it's it's like everyone wants to, Antifa wants to beat people up. Everyone wants to, hurt somebody, blow up fucking ICE, blow up Area 51, blow up this. And then they go to church on Sunday and pray to God. Oh, thank you, Jesus. Like, give me a damn break. You know what I mean? Like, give me a damn break. You are the devil. Shut up. Don't walk into church. Your shoes are gonna melt if you walk into church.
Oh shit. Okay.
But it's just I think the problem is a lot of people are able to run their mouth these days, and nobody's getting checked, and nobody's getting hit with facts in return. And I have spoke to you once before about this. The media is the devil because they put their own twist on things, or they hide things that they don't want people to know. I watched a video this morning of this conservative channel. I think they were in California talking to people about the history of the Democrat and Republican Party, and no one knew anything about how the Democrats started the KKK, the Democrats put in Jim Crow laws. Democrats did this, Democrats did that. None of them knew. And I'm like, how do you, even if you believe that the party switched in the 60s and 70s, which they didn't, how do you not at least know these basic facts of, important parts of history? It's ridiculous. So, it goes to show you that, the voter is very uneducated, and that's the way the people in power like it, because people that are smart set the laws and rules, and people that are and people that are dumb follow them. Yeah, is there anything else? Because right now I'm rolling.
Man, you killed it, John. I ain't got nothing else for you, man. I appreciate you came in and set the den on fire, man. That was a great call.
Yeah, I mean, let's stop talking about like Colin Kaepernick and AOC and all these other people that Trump called out as if they only say something bad once in a blue moon in between their praises for all the great things in the country. It's like you left Somalia. You had to illegally marry your brother to get out of that country because they were going to kill you. It's a war-torn, failed country. Their government's failed. Their people have failed. But yet you're going to talk about America as the worst, is a horrible country? America is the only country that gave you an opportunity.
Straight up.
And you're a congresswoman. You're sitting on one of the highest seats in the land, and you got the nerve to talk about nothing but negativity. And then you say that when people flew planes into 9/11, some people did some things. Get the fuck out of here.
I agree, man. I agree. I can't dispute.
You know, that's like Joe Biden or Trump or any old white guy getting on the podium at the White House and saying, "Yeah, during slavery, you know, some people did some things." How will black people react to that?
It would be.
You know what I mean? Yeah, you know what? During slavery, some people whipped some people. But anyway, so what's next? Give me a break. Give me a break. And in the Twin Tower attacks, everybody died. White people, black people, Hispanic people, Muslim people, Christian people, Jewish people, gay people, straight people, trannies. Everybody died in the Twin Tower attacks, so we can all relate to that. Give me a damn break. Anyway, I'm running out of breath. And I know you got a 10 I know you got a 10-minute rule and just had company show up. So I'll check for tonight's show, all right? It was a pleasure speaking with you.
And I appreciate it. Always good to hear from you, John, man. I appreciate you calling in, man.
All right, goodbye.
All right. Y'all, you know what? I'm going to be honest with y'all. Prior to the den, I always had like a bad reputation of New Yorkers. But y'all New Yorkers be calling in representing. I ain't mad at y'all. I fucks with New York. What's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have calling into the den this afternoon?
Well, I just got to go right after my prepaid. Life is good. This is Miss Grace.
Miss Grace, how are you doing, Miss Grace? How are you feeling today?
Hey, listen, now can I start off telling you about why I went into education and bring it up to what's going on in education now?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. I initially went into education because I needed to answer my calls. You know, I got so sick and tired of people complaining that there weren't enough minority teachers in the schools. You know what I mean? And so I did it. But I went into special education because I saw where the world was going. With feminism and women going out to work and no fathers in the households, you know what I mean, and the drugs and things like that, I knew there were going to be issues. It didn't take a rocket scientist to figure that out. So that's why I was working on my bachelor's degree and my master's in special ed simultaneously. Okay? I wanted to know who was going to keep an eye on those latchkey kids. Remember that term, latchkey?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, where kids had to let themselves in. You know, who was going to monitor what the children were watching on television, listening to on the radio and the music, etc.? Who was going to make sure that these kids were eating a wholesome, nutritious meal? You know what I mean? Plus, I saw what drugs was doing, and I knew that either the parents were going to be hooked on drugs or those babies were going to be born with on drugs. So they were going to have some physical, emotional problems and things like that there. Therefore, they would require special ed services and be placed on an IEP, which is an individual education plan, you know, for kids that have a learning disability. I don't like to say that my kids have a learning disability. They have a learning difference because there's a way that they can learn, and I made sure I did it. You mean my stats have always, and I don't want to ever say I'm a good teacher because I don't like when people say I'm a man. That means he's not. Or I'm a mother, I take care of me and mine. I'm a good mother. That means she's not. You mean, so I don't like to say I'm a good teacher. I just tell you some of the things I did. Okay, so with my students that are on MCAS also on IEPs, and MCAS also are the kids that can't take a regular standardized test. So I could get those kids as well as kids at a level 1. I can get almost 95% of my kids, more than 95%, all the way to a level 3 within the first 2 months. Once I taught them and knew the tricks, You know what I mean? Then I could ship them out to anybody else, and they learn the skills to be able to succeed and score higher and to think. I told the kids, I don't want you little mini Miss Graces. I don't want you to think exactly like me, but I want you to be able to think and question things, because even adults in the schools say some asinine things and do some asshole things. Okay, so, and one of the things I had done, like when we learned about a continent, like we learned of Asia, we focused in on China. Once I turned the classroom into a Chinese restaurant, brought in the wok. Give me some kids brought in rice, chicken. We cut up the peppers and the onions. We had the incense burning. We had the music, the Asian music playing. We had the fortune cookies on the desk. You know what I mean? And the kids had to eat with chopsticks at least for 5 minutes. And every time they had to learn how to say hi, bye, please, and thank you in any language. You know, so for Chinese, it was ni hao, tai jin, teen, and she she. Okay? And from there, I branched out and taught them about occupational skills, franchising, chains. You mean, so that we went to a Chinese restaurant, the kids would have to write down a couple of questions, so they would ask the manager, dine-in etiquette, how to fill out applications, qualifications, all of those things. And I told them, I said, when you get older and you go out to eat with the boss is going to watch to see how many drinks you have. They're going to watch to see if you smoke or if you have any other bad habits that would cost the company extra insurance and liability. Okay? They learned how menus were set up and things like that. We did all of those things. Then I would take them down to New York, air-conditioned motor coach with 6-color television monitors, seats that recline into beds, pillows, blankets, bathroom, food, you mean everything. We went to P. Diddy's, Statue of Liberty, Ellis Island, Empire State Building, Sylvia Soul Food. I always take them to a famous restaurant. Okay? So these are the things that we could do with our kids, or that I like to do with my kids. Miss Grace did nothing without a meal. Today, with all of these ELLs coming in, English language learners, most of our resources now go towards those kids. Every single one of us teachers had to take a graduate level course working with ELLs, even if we didn't speak another language. Everybody, it's a requirement. We all have to do it. It's the law, just to work with them. They will give you their ass to kiss. Everything has to be written and printed in all their languages. They have to have translators, interpreters, all of those things. So in the summer school program, I told you how I told LA she ain't getting this other air-conditioned room. It's hot. We're in New England, so all of our schools are not air-conditioned. This lady from Colombia reserved 20 air-conditioned rooms for 89 kids in her program. Those kids get snacks and everything. My parents said, oh, I guess we're not snack-worthy. You know, I'll go and take some snacks. Oh, excuse me, my kids need some snacks, too.
Yeah.
Everything for them. They go on field trips. My babies that are on IEP, some of the kids have like physical disabilities where they need to go to the gym for adaptive phys ed. The last couple of years, they're not able to do it. You know why? Because they have the ELL kids down there and they're teaching them yoga.
Get the fuck out of here.
I swear to God, I challenge everybody that's listening, because I heard in Texas, to be a substitute teacher, all you need is a high school diploma. I wish that everybody would fill out an application, become a substitute teacher, and go in there for a week and see what really goes on. They get all the food, they get the field trips, they get the gym, they get the air-conditioned room. Now, if these kids are from Central and South America, don't you think they should be accustomed to the heat?
Man, this is crazy.
So they get in the air-conditioned rooms. What? And I get hot flashes. Oh, hell to the no. This is my room. I'm a taxpayer, and I want somebody to come kick me out of this room. This is the third summer that I go in and I bogart and I take my room. You mean they need to go someplace else? 89 kids in the program with 20 air-conditioned rooms. That's not even 5 kids per room. Yeah. And they're running all wild and acting all thugged out with baseball caps on. The other day, a couple of them, it was hot. They take off their shirts outside so they look like construction workers. That's inappropriate. You know, yeah, it's disgusting. And I said, if they were my program, I don't care how hot they are, you put those shirts back on. I said, I would love to run around in a bikini because it's hot, but I can't do it. Okay? So, with them letting these immigrants in, and I cannot believe that black people are fighting this fight for the immigrants. Are you crazy? They're going to take from us. When do you see the Spanish out there marching and protesting and fighting for our rights? They're not doing it. Now they're lumping the black and brown people all together under one umbrella so that our situations can't be addressed, like the black on black crime, you know what I mean, or fathers not in the household, because everybody's going to take care of their situations. They're not going to take care of ours. Everything's for them. They know all the tricks in the book. They know how to get the extra food stamps. You know, someone said, oh, yeah, I go to the farmer's market, and if I spend $80 in produce on my food stamps, they put it back on my card. You know, I know the ones right here that they buy different houses and then they exchange addresses. I know the ones that stepped there when I was in Paris, France, and they were changing their with those little chips in the phone, those little cards that they marked off with permanent marker, and they switched them around, and they had plenty of money. They all own homes and property and things where they live. Don't let them fool you. So they're always, and what Trump said about go back, I say that all the time. If your country, or even Puerto Rico, because that's part of America, but if you're over here on the mainland, if it's so wonderful and it's so beautiful and it's so great, then go back. You know, I'm sick and tired of people coming here, and then we're being stupid because we act like we got to be the great hosts with the mostest. You know, you need to come over here and appreciate that you're here. This is a privilege, and act like it. Or get the hell out. I don't think there's anything wrong with what he said. And the other thing is, I dig Trump. I have been digging Trump for over 30 years. I read 2 of his books a long time ago and fell in love with the man back then. Barack Obama, before he became president, I read his 2 books, The Audacity of Hope and Dreams of My Father. It was boring. It was full of shit. And plus, I had a problem with him. Any man that was raised by his mother, but he's sitting there writing a book about his father, I got a problem with. I raised my kids. They better not write a goddamn book about their father. They better write it about me first. You know what I mean? They better write it about me first. I tell my kids, you can love your fathers if you want and things, but if I come to visit you and I want to put my feet up on your coffee table, there's only going to be room for one set of feet to be up on the coffee table, and it's going to be mine because I was the one that was here all the time. With my granddaughter, she's half her father's Portuguese and Italian. She used to go to the other grandmother's house, and then she'd want to stay with her father. Don't come over here acting like I'm Precious's mother. Like I'm the big black burly grandmother on this side. You better get it right. You know what I mean? And respect to Miss Bell. She's a better woman than I am, because if my kids were mixed, they better not say that they're all just white when they popped out of my black coochie. And I was the one that was getting up in the middle of the night and taking care of them and doing everything. They better not. They better not, because when you claim one, then you're almost denying the other. That's the way I look at it. But that's about it that I wanted to say. But people need to go into the schools and see what is going on. I feel like I'm not even in America. Everybody's speaking mostly Spanish. The last thing we need is more Spanish-speaking people over here, because they're taking over. They don't believe in abortions. You know what I mean? They believe they keep popping out these babies. You know what I mean? And they're it. They're going to be in charge. You know, we don't need them here. We don't need anymore. And not that I dislike them, because my great nieces and nephew were there, half Puerto Rican from Puerto Rico, you know what I mean, and Spanish speaking. But no, we don't need anymore. Speak English. You may love this country, and don't be flying your little raggedy flags either. When I leave the country, everybody has their flag up, and the American flag is right next to it. We don't want that to ever go away. If anything happens to Trump, and when he goes out of office, we are in deep doo-doo unless we get someone else that's willing to fight for America, because this is the last chance that we have to fight to hold on to America, because you see everybody's trying to take it. Everybody's sneaking to come into our country. We're not sneaking to go anywhere. I am sick of them.
So I got a question for you, Ms. Grace, because and that's something we mentioned earlier. Like a lot of these other countries, because you got a lot of people coming from South America, Central America, and coming up into the United States, and a lot of them are using under the guise of asylum. But these countries also offer asylum that they're walking through, that they're caravanning through, or that they're going through to get to America. Why don't you think they seek asylum in those countries?
Because all of the freebies that are being offered here. They don't offer all the freebies and things. These people get they pay hardly any rent. They get food stamps. I call them grub stubs. They get free medical. I won't even go to an emergency room. You mean if I don't feel well, I'll go to a True Med, the walk-in clinic. You mean where they don't take those kind of mass health or whatever things like that there. You mean they have we have all the freebies, and we need to quit offering all these freebies. Now, free health care. When my older sister came down with breast cancer, I remember they were giving money to everybody else, but not my sister. Yeah, I would be angry if my granddaughter came up with some terminal illness or some bullshit, you know what I mean, and we couldn't afford her medical care, you know, but somebody can come in that didn't pay any money in or do anything, and they get it all for free. And they keep having babies? You can't, if you know how much it costs to have a baby, they just keep popping them out. They don't want to stop that, and it should not be allowed. If they're cutting through those other countries to come here, it shouldn't be allowed. You know, if you were so worried about saving your life and this was going to happen and you wanted to save your children's life, you would go to the next safe place and settle down right there. So that goes to show they're full of shit. You know, and they like when people talk to them, they like to sit and have the little looks like they have too much sun in their eyes. And looking all coitad, all coutadina, like a little poor thing. They're not little poor things. You know, they're not. They're not. They need to get out of. People need to miss me with that bullshit. I'm sick of it. I'm all for helping anybody, and I want everyone to have a wonderful life. But if you believe all of those stories, I got a bridge to tell you. They're full of shit. And I'm going to get off this phone because I know my son downstairs. Oh, my God, my mother's on the phone again.
It's all good, Miss Grace. I appreciate you calling in and sharing your story.
Okay, hon. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Oh, man. Now, normally, this is where we pause, but I'm going to take a little Honcho hiatus. I did get it started, so we'll probably go we'll take another couple of calls, but I got to pause for just a second. I'll be right back. And this has been a very interesting day. I'm loving it. Like fucking McDonald's food and shit. I ain't loving this shit. I'll be right back. Welcome back to POC Politics. I'm your host, Ed Honcho. Oh, I'm sorry, The Den. Nah. I fucking love it. I fucking love it, man. I love to hear the honesty, the opinions, and I love The Den because so many diverse thoughts. I don't want to answer this call, but I'm going to answer it anyway. Sorry for your ears. I really don't want to talk to this person, but it is what it is. What's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have called into The Den this evening? This afternoon.
Hey man, this is Kenneth.
Hello, Kenneth. How are you doing today, Kenneth?
Man, I'm doing good, my dude. You know what I'm saying? But how are you doing, Honcho?
I'm doing good. Kenneth, actually, you know what? I'm glad that you called in, Kenneth. Because you yourself, right, you are an illegal immigrant, correct?
No, I'm actually a legal immigrant. I'm actually illegal.
That's what I said, illegal, right?
No, my nigga, I'm an immigrant. I am a legal immigrant, my
Wait, are immigrants allowed to use the N-word? I mean, is that, I don't know if we've, the Coalition of Black People,
my nigga, yes.
the COBP, I don't know if we've come together and allowed immigrants to use the word. So we're going to have to talk about that. So we're going to have to figure that out. But now, I'm going to stop giving you a hard time. What's on your mind, Kenneth?
All right, man, look, I feel like I can offer a little bit of a different perspective from what the last caller said, but I completely agree with what a lot of what she said.
Okay.
But I feel like it's a little bit skewed towards what she wants to believe.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Honcho, you said something earlier about why don't we, people from Honduras, for example, why don't we just go seek asylum in Mexico?
Yeah.
No, Honcho, Mexico is just as bad, if not worse, than Honduras is. If you want to use any other countries, why don't we go seek asylum in, let's say, Guatemala or El Salvador? These countries are just as bad, if not worse, than where we are right now.
Okay, but what is asylum actually, though? What is asylum? Asylum is what is your definition of asylum?
It's just a more safer environment. That's what I look at it. But a lot of these immigrants.
But that's not the case, though. Asylum is because you're supposed to be fearing from your life from either gang violence or that your life is imminently in danger in the country in which you're in. It's not about getting a better life. It's not going to get a better job. That's not what asylum means. Asylum means that I have an immediate fear that if I remain in this country for either political, gang, whatever, that someone is out to get me and I will be safer in another country of residence. So that means that even though these other countries may be dangerous, and I'm sure there's safe places in some of these other countries that I don't think is all as bad as I'm sure there's bad spots, I'm sure there's better spots. But that doesn't mean I get to go to the safest place I can find. It doesn't mean I get to go where the best jobs or the best opportunities are. Asylum is just supposed to be a place that's safer than where I am now because there is a direct hit out on my life or somebody's really trying to, to take me out because of whatever reason in this country.
Right. I can agree with that, man. But I can completely agree with that, to be honest with you, because a lot of these immigrants, when they say they're looking for asylum, most of them are just looking to get out of this situation. And a lot of these people, man, the situation that they are in, man, they were put in those situations unlikely, man. Like, some of the kids, let's say, for example, kids, some of these kids out here, they can't even go to school. Why? He's just out there looking for a better salary. They've been in the fucking, I don't know what you call it when you don't go to work or you over there. They're basically protesting and they're looking for better pay.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So kids can't even go to school. You know what I'm saying? The kids been out of school for about 3-4 months already. So, and when you look at some of the things that they got going on in school, man, look, there's no AC in that motherfucker. Kids are sitting there burning and, they're sitting there struggling. You have to pay for some of these schools. Not like in America that most schools are free. Some of these schools you have to pay for.
Mm-hmm.
The cost of these schools are so expensive that kids, a lot of these parents just opt to make sure that their kids go to work. You know what I'm saying? And you look at some of the minimum wage that some of these countries, like a lot of people in America complain about the minimum wage that we have of $27.25. If you translate the currency, from let's say Honduran money to the U.S. dollars, you know what I'm saying? The minimum wage over there will be basically it's $1.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's how the minimum wage is, and a lot of these people you can't live with that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It's damn near impossible to live with that, and a lot of the things that they have over there are just so expensive that they use that asylum excuse to basically just come over here and look for a better life. And I'm not saying it's not, and it's justified. To a certain extent, you can say it's justified why they do it. But I have kind of a problem when they do get over here. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm gonna be completely unbiased. You know what I'm saying? And the problem that I have is, man, when these kids get over here, they come in here and start bullshitting. You know what I'm saying? When they get in school, they start completely bullshit. They just start fucking with the thoughts. You know what I'm saying? They don't even worry about the books. They start hanging around the same, Central American crowd. They don't even worry about school. The parents come over here. Now, the parents, some of them, they just come in here and get to work just to send money back over there to their home country. That's what a lot of them do.
Yeah.
But a lot of these parents, man, they come over here and they just be on some lazy shit and they start over here complaining about, well, America's this, America's that, Trump this, Trump that. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of these about the ICE race, man. Look, I said, because I was thinking, man. I'm like, man, why everybody so mad about these ICE races? And I'm just thinking, like, my dude, I tried to talk to a Hispanic friend of mine, and I told him, like, hey, you can't be mad at these ICE races when you are illegal, my nigga. Like, you came here on your own free will, and you are illegal. And because most of these illegal immigrants, if I'm not mistaken, once you get into the country illegally and they let you in, if I'm not mistaken, they give you a paper and they say that you have to go to court.
Yeah,
and you don't. Yeah, they do that, right? Okay. And if you don't go to court, then you're officially an illegal immigrant and you're on the run. And you can't get mad at these people when they come and look for you, but you didn't show up to court. You had the opportunity to literally get a better opportunity, but you chose to run. For whatever reason, you chose to run and you didn't show up to court, and you get mad when these people come and look for you. I can't stand with that, man. That's just fuck shit. You know what I'm saying? That shit is complete bullshit. You know what I mean? And a lot of these niggas that come over here, you know what I'm saying? Let's say some of the people from Mexico, they come in here and they come in here and they literally just come in here just to continue to do the same shit that they were doing over there. And for that, like I said, I can't accept some of that shit. I like to look at both sides of the coin. You know what I mean? But to sit here and say that a lot of these immigrants just come over here just to degrade America, that would just be false. You know what I mean? Like, I can't just say that we just come, like, let's say for my family, for example. Let me touch into another topic before I start into that. A lot of these people, they don't come in here legally, not because they don't want to. They don't want to leave their families. The reason why they don't do it is because the immigration process is so fucking expensive. You know what I'm saying? For about a family of four, you literally spending about $20,000 in total just to get your family over here. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of these people, where the hell are they going to get that money? You know what I'm saying? And again, that's not an excuse. You should find a way. If you want to do it, you should find a way to do it. But it's literally damn near impossible to get your hands on that kind of money. You know what I mean? And that's why I kind of have a little bit of empathy towards it. But two wrongs don't make a right at the same time. You can't come in here illegally and get the complaint when ICE comes looking for you. So, that's what I want to say, man.
Okay. And my thing is that, like I say, and I understand the empathy. And again, like I said, primarily most of my friends have always been Hispanic, and I understand. And I like you. You're illegal, and I like you. But my thing is that
I'm legal, Honcho.
I think that, but the process, like, so this is my big beef with a lot of stuff, man. And because I want to talk about, and tonight, I don't know, we've kind of steered the conversation into illegal immigration, so I don't know if we're going to kind of venture into that tonight, or because I want to talk about some with college and stuff like that. But even when we talk about like the free colleges and stuff like that, people talk about, oh, college should be free. Right. What about how does that impact all the people who did what they had to do to work to get where they? I mean, we don't know what effort that they put in, what they went through to get there, to do that, to follow the process. Some people wait years and years to become legal immigrants and do exactly what, follow the rules, follow the protocol, learn what they got to take the little history test or whatever. All the things that it goes into it to assimilate into this country to have these opportunities. Then you have people say, well, let's just let everybody in and everything is okay. When you don't put forth some type of investment behind something, you don't appreciate it. And I think that kind of what you said about, some of the people who came here illegally and they're still like, America sucks, it's still about that, such. Well, if you made, and I'm not going to say you made no investment, you got to risk, kind of sneaking in and getting in. But if you haven't made that type of investment into something that you want, and this is with everything. This is why, if a person wins the lottery, they're going to lose all the money because they didn't work for it. They don't know how to get it back. Like anything in life, if you didn't put an investment into that thing, time, effort, money, just whatever it may be, you don't appreciate it. You know what I mean? Right. And so I think that's part of the problem. And that's why I was thinking, even with free college, if you start saying, well, everybody, hey, college is free. Well, either the degrees become less worthwhile or you just got a bunch of people who start off going to college. I really don't want to do this. I don't want to study. And then it becomes worthless. You know, they don't appreciate it. They're not going to go because they're not losing anything. They're not taking any risk to go. You know, they're not taking any risk to improve their life or their education. So that's kind of my views on that. But now, should there be a method, maybe streamline? I don't know, as far as allowing, you know, more immigrants in. But I think there should be a certain set of standards that should be attainable. And I'm not saying that you should just be able to walk over and say, hey, I need asylum and get in. Because then, like you said, only one law said the system is broken. If anybody can just say that, then what's to stop the entire world from watching a bunch of videos? Oh, it's all great in America, and everybody just coming into America. Resources are finite. You know, you only have so much of everything. So there's only so many jobs. There's only so many opportunities. And if you bring the whole world into this country, and of course that's not going to happen. But, you know, what happens to America? You know what I mean? Like, what happens to the people who are already here? You know what I mean? And so that's my issue. That's my thing. Like, it's when we talk about the problems America already has, you start bringing in millions of more people. Well, guess what? That's only going to increase the problem. It's only going to, you know, thin out the resources. So I think that there should be a viable method for people to obtain legal immigration status. But there has to be, I mean, it has to be an obstacle. There has to be some type of effort put into it. And like was being said, you know, if you're seeking asylum, you come in through the port of entry. If you're just trying to sneak into the country, well, come on, you know, I mean, it is what it is. Like that undermines everybody who worked hard and did the right thing to get here. It devalues them. So that's kind of why I'm telling me close and go to Canada. Yeah, that was super funny because Dre, that's why I never realized about all the people in Canada who had like Jamaican or island accents, because those are the people who couldn't get in America and it's easier to get into Canada. So that's super funny. Okay. All right. Anything else you got to add there, illegal, Kenneth?
Legal, kind of.
Yeah,
Kept me on the plane, so I didn't cross no damn river.
No, it came on a plane.
What?
Okay. Okay. Well, now you think you're better than people because you came to America on a plane. All right, interesting. Kenneth thinks he's better than the other immigrants. So y'all hear that? Kenneth, he's a snooty immigrant. No, I'm just fucking with
say
you.
That, my guy. That's tough, coach.
I'm
tough.
I'm just fucking with you, Kenneth. But no, I appreciate you sharing that perspective. So you feel like, well, I got one more question for you because you are an immigrant. You spent some time in Honduras, actually, right?
Right. Yes.
How long were you in Honduras before you came to America?
I was there for 11 years, 16 now. So
Okay.
I've been here for about 5-6 years.
Okay, so you spent way more time in Honduras. Okay, cool. So you would say that other immigrants, illegal or legal, that you know, would you say the majority sees the opportunity of being in America, or would you say the majority just don't give a shit?
Majority don't give a shit. That's like people want to come in here and get on here. Like every time in my school, man, motherfuckers want to get on here and start capping like free this, free that. They shouldn't. Like, why do they have these immigrants in cages? All of this other shit. Like, look, my nigga, the motherfuckers that are in my school, bro, these niggas literally they walk in here, they start doing a bunch of dumb shit, and I'm like, damn, like this was what like your parents literally did. Like they put everything on the line for you to get here, and all you do is come in here and start disrespecting your teachers. You know what I'm saying? You come in here, you disrespect your teachers, and you start affiliating yourself with the people that you don't need to be affiliating yourself with. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of these niggas, they'll get on here, but when it's time for voting, you know what I'm saying? Everybody want to like, nah, fuck Trump, fuck this. I'm like that's not how it works, my dude. You know what I'm saying? You had the opportunity to come in here and do what you had to do, my nigga. Like if you came in here and you did what you were supposed to do, then maybe I could understand why you would feel a certain way towards these ICE raids and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of these kids, man, a lot of them don't. They come in here and they waste the opportunity selling drugs with the people that they, with other people. They come in here and they do a bunch of this shit, Honcho. But you ain't gonna hear a lot of that, man. All you gonna hear is these kids, they just want an opportunity. But when they do get it, they just come and fuck it up. And that's not to say that, some of them don't, because a lot of these immigrants, they come in here and they seize the opportunity. They do what they have to do, man. Like, I have a friend of mine came in here, it's about to be it's our valedictorian for the school. Hispanic, illegal immigrant, you know what I'm saying? And she's doing what she needs to do, man. Like, she has scholarships to her name. She's doing everything that she needs to do.
Yeah.
Why? Because she knows that her parents sacrificed a lot to get her over here.
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of these kids don't do. But But you will never hear that unless you actually are at some of these schools. You know what I'm saying? Unless you actually see it with your own eyes, you won't ever hear shit. All you hear is a bunch of bullshit saying that kids deserve this, deserve that. These Hispanic kids deserve all of this shit. When they do get it, they don't do nothing with it. So I'm not trying to hear all that other bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Some of them do, but the overwhelming majority, they never do that shit, man. They just come in here and half-ass on everything, bro. So that's your answer.
Okay. All right. Well, I appreciate you sharing that perspective with us. Kenneth, anything else you'd like to add?
Yeah. Nah, that'll be it, man. Appreciate it.
All right. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
Shout out to Kenneth, man. Kenneth is an odd guy. Because Kenneth in the chat, like this was mentioned, Kenneth in the chat is a different guy. He's everybody in the chat. He's Sean King and DJ Hackett. He's all the weird shit. And then when Kenneth actually calls in, like 91% of the time, he's making sense, right? That other 9%, he's caping for Drake and some other terrible rapper. But outside of that, Kenneth is not a bad guy. DeMarkey, on the other hand, is getting pimped for pistachios by female pimp. DeMarkey has been tricking pistachios this entire week to female pimp, and she still ain't even in the top 10. Man, I gave you them pistachios, Miss C. That's what I'm finna say. That's what I'm finna start taking them back. You acting like Shannon now. I gave you your pistachios during your call. What's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have calling in to the den this afternoon?
Hey, Honcho. It's Belle. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, Miss Bell. How are you? What are your thoughts on today's topic, Miss Bell?
Well, I got a couple of things first. Yesterday, when I called in at lunchtime, I didn't get my pistachios, but we didn't have them last night, so I'm putting you on point about that.
What?
Yep. Second of all, thank Miss Grace for having my back with my kids, but they look too much like me, so they can't deny their white side, and I'm good with that. As a matter of fact, my son, love him to death, can't dance. We call him the whitest black boy that we know because he's got no rhythm. Great kid, but just it is what it is. Great call from Kenneth today. I still want to tell him to sit the hell down because I'm going to treat him like every young kid. It doesn't matter whether he's legal or not. If he says something wrong, I'm going to call him on his shit. But it was nice to hear his voice, actually, for the first time, which was pretty cool. Politics, I don't play politics. As far as business stuff goes, I can agree with some of the stuff with Trump. As far as personal, I think he's a total jackass. I liked Obama, but I think that it was a really good... Him and Michelle make a really great couple. Political-wise, I think that there was a lot of stuff that came on his plate into the White House before he even got there. So it didn't maybe make him as effective maybe as he could have been. He made just as many mistakes as the president before him and the president before him and the president before him. Each president in that seat or in that office can either make great headway or be roadblocked by whatever's going on in Congress. It's teamwork. So I can't really put it on particularly one particular president because Congress does matter, and that's why they call it a balanced system. That's why I hate politics, because it takes every bit of it for it all to work together. Now, as far as politics go with the illegal, I don't have much to say on that. I do have something to say that about the youth is that they don't seem to be humble at all. It's almost like there was no filter attached to any of these young kids. I mean, I can't say all of them because that's a very broad statement, but there's a certain percentage that come off like they can say anything and like they've got the experience of a 45 or 50-year-old, want that paycheck, and have no wisdom or experience to back it up. And it's a real struggle for those of us who have to look at those that want to and have that expectation. and it's frustrating on that level. But like I said, that's pretty much all I have to go. As a genealogist, I just found out that my grandfather might not have been legal, and that was in 1915. So it's not all South American. But as we were talking about, I will say this about immigration, is that we put a lot of emphasis on it being the Mexican border, but people forget that there's illegals from Russia, there's illegals from Europe, there's illegals from all kinds of different countries and continents. It just seems to get focused on the Hispanic immigrants is to be the largest talked about. It doesn't mean it's the only group that is illegally here. And the only other thing I have to say is, if they're illegal and they've done a either capital crime or they've done a felony, send their asses back to their own countries. You know, we don't need any additional crime to what we already have.
I agree.
You know, this isn't cheaper to keep her. This is, you do bad, send them back. COD.
Yeah.
And that's my only opinion on that. I do feel for the kids that never knew another country but here, but the parents decided to anchor them because of the parents' choice. That's not the kid's fault.
No.
And that's something that I can have compassion about. But as far as if you're here legally, you're taking chances. It would be the same thing if I went abroad and I stayed past my passport date. You know? So, but anyway, that's pretty much all I have. And don't forget my pistachios.
I put 2,000 pistachios in the account during the call, so I got you.
Yes. All right. But other than that, you got any questions for me?
One question. Why haven't you taught your son how to dance?
Man, I'm telling you, he's now 22, so if we get a couple of drinks in him, he might be able to just relax enough not to be so uptight and white. But it is what it is. My sister can't dance either, and she's white. We get her a couple of drinks, she's okay. So it must be a DNA thing. You know, it happens. Even in the black culture, it happens. I've seen it. It's rare, but I've seen it.
Yeah, all I got is a two-step. I ain't gonna front like I got to move. I just got a little two-step, and I perfect my two-step, and I'm good with it. I ain't doing too much.
Hey, at least you try, you know.
Already. Okay. Well,
All
I
right.
appreciate it, Miss Bell. Thank you for your call, and I think we should be fair and square on the pistachios now. You don't have to bully me anymore. I feel oppressed and bullied.
All good. Got my point across.
Yes, ma'am. I appreciate it, Miss Bell.
All right, back to the boards, and we'll see you tonight.
All right, thank you.
Yep.
We will take maybe uno más call, and like I said, I know I got the party started a little bit late today. Yeah, but I mean, it's not lying about all the people that are coming in. There's a lot of Africans coming in too. Africans that instead of flying over, they're flying to South America, and then they're coming up through South America because I don't know if it's easier to get in that way or what it is. What's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have calling into the den this PM? Shout out to Brandon335 for the idea.
What's going on, Honcho? This is your boy, Man Up here.
Man Up, what's the motherfucking deal? What's on your mind? How you feeling about this topic here, Man Up?
Man, I saw this happen. Well, I saw it on the news a couple days ago. And then I saw it again last night when I got off from work. And I ended up basically saying the same thing that you said. You know, but I was like this here. I was like, you know, it just fucked up that, you know, our president says the things that he says. But it would be hypocritical if I'm sitting here saying he can't say what he want to say when he has freedom of speech. He's not threatening anybody or anything like that. So he has his freedom of speech. Now, do I like what he's saying? Of course not. But in this country, you have freedom of speech just as long as you're not threatening anybody. You can say and do what, I ain't gonna say do, but you can say pretty much whatever you want. Now that does not mean that what he's saying is very smart of him, very intelligent of him, especially in the position that he's in being the United States president. Now, what I'm saying basically is this here. Is this. I think what he said on that tweet, tell them they can go back to the countries they came from, fix their countries, and come back and tell us how to fix ours. I think that was the most ignorant thing that he could possibly say. Because how you know, just like the caller said before me, she said her grandfather was an illegal immigrant. So the kids are from here, so they're not from other countries. What I'm basically saying is, just because their nationality might be something else, does not necessarily mean that they're from wherever else. Just like they tell black people go back to Africa. And me personally, I've never ever been to Africa in my life.
Yeah.
So I can't go back to somewhere I've never been. You know, that's basically what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So I did. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm saying I agree. You can't go back in a place you ain't never been to.
And then I think, see, the thing is, and also I mentioned this, I do remember when Clinton, had an affair on his wife.
Yeah.
Oh, they wanted Clinton impeached. They didn't want him in the White House. He's a bad example for the children, blah, 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 all that crap.
Mm-hmm.
But people fail to realize, yeah, he cheated on his wife. Yeah, he's a president. He shouldn't have did that, all that good stuff. But that's a personal matter. That's between him and his family. We as Americans, me, myself, and others, don't have nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
But the stuff that President Trump is doing and saying does affect us. You know what I'm saying? Whether you vote, like myself, I do not vote, but whether you vote or not, whether you voted for him or not, the things that he says and does is affecting us. Clinton having an affair on his wife ain't got shit to do with us. That's between him and his family.
Yeah.
So my point is this, I'm not saying impeach anybody, but why isn't anybody saying anything about impeaching him?
That's interesting. So you don't think with the Clinton situation, do you think that it had anything to do with they thought it was disgracing the office or the Oval Office, being that it took place in the White House?
I think it is kind of a disgrace that it took place in the White House. And I you know what? I'm going to say something real quick that's totally off topic because I'm driving home right now. And I see some people on the side of the road that says, stop cutting baby penises. Like, what the hell is there going on here?
That's crazy. That's crazy.
I don't know. But anyway, I just saw that, so I just saw people standing on the side of the road with some signs and stuff. So anyway, I know that had nothing to do with what I'm talking about. I just had to say it because I'm like, what the hell is this? But anyway, yeah, I think it did have something to do because it happened in the White House. But so did JFK in the White House. So did, if I'm not mistaken, I might be wrong about that. I might not have all my facts straight on this, so correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't George Bush have an affair as well too in the White House?
Did he?
George Bush Sr. If I'm not mistaken, I heard several people saying this before. So if I'm wrong on that, I'm wrong.
I'm not familiar with that. Now I know some women came out and said that when he was super old, he grabbed their butt and shit like that. But
yeah, so
I don't know
so
about that.
if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. So don't hold me to that one. But I'm just saying, still, that has nothing to do with us as a people. You know what I'm saying? So if he did all that. But all I'm saying is this here. This man has been attacking people in this country, other countries, and he cannot seem to stay off Twitter. I never forget, like when Obama was in office, people were bashing him because he was at a Chicago Bulls game.
Yeah.
Oh, he shouldn't be at no basketball game. He's the president, blah, blah, blah. But didn't say nothing because George Bush Sr., he owns the Texas Rangers. Nobody never said anything about that. You see what I'm saying? I don't know if he still do, but I know he did own them. See what I'm saying? Nobody never said anything. But my whole thing is this here. You got the freedom of speech. You know, man, as long as you're not threatening anybody's property or life, you can basically almost say anything you want. Now, that does not mean that you have to like what they're saying. But all I'm saying is this here, is that I think his choice of words and his actions, choice of action, is going to cost a lot of Americans, you know what I'm saying, in the long run. Now, excuse me. And then also, too, I do think this here, this is the number one reason why I tell people, now me personally, I don't vote, so you don't have to listen to me on this if you don't want to, but this is the number one reason why I always tell people, before you make a choice on anything, do your research, because it can come back and bite you in the ass.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? This is a prime example. A lot of people voted for him for whatever their reasons may be. And now a lot of those people that voted for him is regretting it. That's the reason why I say, I've always told people, before you make a decision, especially an important decision, do your research, because you just never, ever, ever know.
Yeah, that's true.
But that's my call, man. You got anything for me?
Well, so I mean, so you were saying that you feel like it should be some type of pressure applied to him in this situation, kind of similar to how the Clinton situation was? Like as far as
I think there should be some, like, okay, Mr. President, whatever you want to call him. I think they should tell him, okay, keep your ass off Twitter, off social media. You got a country to run. What in the hell? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know. To me, he's acting like a damn teenager. Can't stay off of the social media. You know, so I don't know. I don't get it. But yeah, I think there should be some pressure on him to say, look, enough is enough with all this nonsense. You got voted into the White House to do this, to do your job, not to be on Twitter. And then I never forget that a couple of years ago, I heard this well, I saw it on the news. He did an interview saying that the only reason why he ran for president is because he thought the job was going to be easy. And I'm like, what the fuck? What the hell? No job on earth is easy. It may look easy, but it's not easy. No job is easy. None. So, because that's the case, goddamn 5-10-year-olds to be doing it. Shit, if it was easy. But all I'm saying is this here, man. It's just that I think they need to, somebody needs to say, look, you need to calm your ass down with all this nonsense. You got voted in to do a job, do that job. Don't worry about what somebody else is saying and doing. You ain't got time for all that. Because shit, if you want to attack everybody that's dissing the country, you'll never do anything. Because a lot of us have negative thoughts and feedback on how the government is doing this and that to us and stuff like that. We all do. So it don't make no sense that you want to attack this one. Well, I ain't gonna say one person, like a group of maybe 5 or 6 people or something like that I saw.
Yeah.
So it don't make no sense. And to me, well, it might be more. I could be wrong, but from what I saw, it was all females.
Yeah.
And that to me, we all know the history he has with women. So that, to me, in my eyes, that makes it worse.
But do you think that do you think it's an issue with men? Do you think it's an issue that these are some of the most outspoken people in that particular party? And we know how Trump handles when people talk shit about him. He's not one that's quick to back down. So do you not think that he maybe saw that as an opportunity to maybe attack an opponent or use that to his own leverage?
I'm sorry, you kind of cut out there. You said to attack what now?
I said to attack an opponent to use to his own leverage.
It could be. It could be to gain a leverage or something. I don't know. So I can't really speculate on that one. I just know that, yeah, he is very outspoken. And like I said, nothing's wrong with that. That's your right in this country. But there's always consequences for your actions. So that's just something to think about there.
Okay. Do you think that's going to hinder him in the long run when it comes time for re-election?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I mean, he might get the vote again. Never know. He might get it. But at the same time, though, I do think that it's going to end up hurting him because, put it like this here, I don't want to wish no ill will, but I do think that a lot of stuff that he's doing and saying is going to hurt Americans in the future.
Yeah. Okay.
Because just like the caller said before me, a lot of people might not like a lot of stuff that Obama was doing, but he did come into a messed up situation.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I'm not trying to sugarcoat anything for Obama, but we all know he took over after George Bush Jr.
Mm-hmm.
And we all know what was going on then. So, of course, you're going to come into a horrible situation. And it's going to take you it's going to take you a long time to fix certain situations. Just like if you was to rent out your house to somebody and they damage it, it's going to take you a while to fix that house before you can rent it up again.
Mm-hmm.
So I know that's probably a crazy scenario, but that's as close as I can think of. But anything else you got for me?
No, that's all I got, man. I don't think I had anything else for you.
All right.
Well, I appreciate
you.
All
right,
coming.
then, man. I appreciate you.
All right, man. You have a safe trip home, and hopefully you don't see any more crazy signs like that. Crazy signs on the way home, man.
Then you should see them, man. All these people dressed in white, and looking like got some red paint around up in the crotch area. Saying stop cutting off baby penises. I'm like, what the fuck? But anyway, I ain't gonna get into that. But I just saw that and I just had to say something. That was ridiculous. I mean, I don't know what they referring to, so I can't really comment on that. But but yeah, man, that's my call, man. I'll holler at you later, man.
All right, man. I appreciate your call, man.
I have to go.
All right, you too. I think we'll wrap up on that note there, man. But that's crazy, but people out there, they doing some old anything. Oh, and then female people, you lost like half because you add an extra fucking zeros. You gave Shannon like 10,000 one day. Talking about, oops, I gave her 10,000. Look, your bad, player. You know what I'm saying? So, look, all I'm saying to Marky is one day it's gonna be hard times in this country. And you're gonna wish you had all those pistachios. You're giving them to this willy-nilly female pimp. She trying to make it rain in the Planter strip club. She just throwing pistachios everywhere like she balling. You know what I'm saying? And then she talking about she gonna come back to you. I need some more. Can I have? Man, that's a whole nother story. But y'all see that chick that she was like one of them not IG thoughts, Twitch thought. There are different categories of thoughts. She tried to play her, but that dude gave her like $11,000. That dude gave her like $11,000 in donations. And then she tried to like go on a rant about this motherfucker, but then she tried to make it seem like he was harassing her or some shit. And then, so he ended up releasing all of the, text messages between them. She was begging him for all this money, saying she was going to pay him back and he needed this and needed that. And she said, talking about she was going to move in with him and do all this stuff, come like all this crazy shit. It was super simpish. But like I said, she had him donating through the thing, so it technically it wouldn't come off as theft, but she just tried to he's trying to make these demands on me, and see, this is the problem with men, and like went on this whole fucking rant, you know what I'm saying? Like went on this whole fucking rant about men and tried to make it seem like it was some toxic masculinity shit and all this other stuff. But if you go back and read these stuff, oh, I'm sick and my mom's gonna give me this, I was in the hospital, it reads like cokehead tweets. Yeah, my mom's she's gonna give me the money on Monday, but I just need it, now, and I can pay you back. Never paid the dude back and the shit. Like, he exposed to all that shit, man. Yes, there is levels of thoughtism. You gotta depending on you gotta it's elevated thoughtism. IG thoughts, they post and get they move on. Instagram thoughts, but Twitch thoughts, they actually sit there and do nothing. Like, they don't even play video games. Half of them, like, they had one, she was a Korean, but she was a special Korean, okay? Let me tell you, she's a very special Korean. She was what you would say is a rarity in the Korean community. She was blessed. Okay, she was blessed, and she got her channel banned, I think. But all she did was sit there and like dance very badly. Now this is why I say I don't be want to hear this. I don't want to hear nothing about. Everybody trying to flex with me, man. You know, women, all y'all gotta do is nothing. No, Korean with big, huge titties. Now look, now asking for a Korean with ass, now we've gone too far. But she had like big old titties, and so she would just sit there wearing low cut shirts, and just like literally like doing like this. That's what she would be doing, and that's like it. And she would dance, and then I think she did like she take donations for more minutes. You know what I mean? And so then she would make sandwiches, just doing dumb, basic ass shit, and was eating off the shit good. Yeah, oh gal, selling her bath water. Selling bath water. But here's my thing though, okay? And we might talk about, I don't know, because I got like 3 topics in my mind I want to talk about tonight. Because we got into the illegal immigration conversation real tough today. And I kind of want to venture, because we started off, talking about the squad and then this situation, but then I may want to talk about illegal immigration. I may save that for later. I have the original topic that I wanted to talk about last night. Then I got a topic I want to talk about. We might throw Twitch thoughts. I got a couple of things on my mind. We'll see. We'll see exactly what we get into tonight. It'll be a surprise. But so that's what I'm saying. And the crazy thing about it is, let me write this down. I just actually thought of something else before I forget. The crazy thing about it is like a lot of them do that. There was one chick, she just literally sit there. She's an IG / Twitch thought. And she just sits there putting on makeup, like really just putting on makeup. Had nothing to say, doesn't do anything interesting, just sits there. Putting on makeup, talking about nothing, no little nifty, just sits there. And motherfuckers are making money just for sitting there doing nonsense. And that's the crazy shit. That's the crazy shit. So, god damn, let me see, hold on. What happened with the fight? Did I fight Miss Kenesha? Did I misspell it? I might have misspelled it. Oh, I put that period at the end. Okay, my fault. Hold on, did I miss it? Let me see. Oh, my fault, hold on. I'll get your fight in real quick after I whoop Sweet Barrio pistachio stealing ass. But shit, this is what the other ones do is like you cosplay. That's all you gotta do. You cosplay, and then so what you do is you it's what some of them do. They paint themselves up. But here's the crazy one, because the one y'all seen the one who was complaining about the booth girls, right? Oh, they're just being sexualized for big companies. But she literally body paints herself basically naked, right? And then she paints herself naked. She painted herself like an angry bird and some other crazy shit. You know what I'm saying? And then it's like it's probably cost more than your damn beats. But yeah, that's the thing. They'll like one of them dressed up like an angry bird, and it was terrible paint. But she's naked, but it's body paint over it. But she's the same one complaining about these big companies are using sexuality to promote their thing. And they had some little booth girls dancing, and then the booth girls came back and like they got on her ass about that shit. You cheated. You're a cheater. You know what I'm saying? Y'all boys be hating. Y'all don't even know what the game is. See, that's the thing. Y'all like little young niggas. Like y'all think Jordans are high class shoes. You know what I'm saying? Y'all think that's top notch footwear right there. That's what y'all don't know shit. I got one more challenge to do. But It's only sexual when other people do it. Yeah, when you ain't profiting from it, then it's no longer sexual. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. That's a bet. I got you, man up. Appreciate you. So my thing is this though, right? And that's the thing. That's why I find it so funny. All these SJWs and all this other stuff. I want to use my body to do whatever I want to, but when companies are using something not even close to it, I'm mad and I'm offended by it. I'm upset by it. And it's all this other bullshit. You know what I'm saying? So there's that. See, look at that. Y'all supposed to be on the same team. That's why you can't trust niggas. See, DJ Academics, Kenneth, and DeMarcus was on the same team, and then all of a sudden turned on him. Ain't that some shit? That's crazy. IG is proper prostitution promotion. And so what I mean by that is that women post extremely sensual sexual pictures on there, and then they are models with booking info. And booking just means, here's how you pay me for my services. So that's kind of what IG is becoming, and that's very unfortunate. It's all right. Let's just say that's why Kanisha was scared. You know, whooped that ass, got them pistachios back that Sweetberry stole. But hey, let me get ready to slide up out of here, man. I appreciate y'all. I gotta get something to eat. Y'all are great people. We will be live tonight. We'll have some other things going on. Guess all the proper stuff going on. Well, there's that. Well, it ain't even show up. It was actually almost perfect time. Shout out to Coach for making my life easy. Honcho ACX on Instagram and Twitter. Like the video. Hit that subscribe button if you're new. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all Den Show Live. DenShowLive@gmail.com if you want to send an email. Weekdays, Monday through Friday, 1 p.m. I know I forgot today was Wednesday. I thought it was Tuesday, but hey, players fuck up. 7 days a week, live every night, 10 p.m. Central Time. Make sure you're there, be square. Den Show Podcast. I've been uploading the previous episodes of the stream to the podcast. I told y'all this weekend I'll be dropping some audio podcasts. So make sure you go to Den Show Podcast so you don't miss, because that has a chat specifically to that. That's not on YouTube. And so when I do the live podcast from there, I want to make sure you're part of that chat. Make sure you're part of that conversation. You can also find the podcast on all the major platforms. I still got to send that email back to Spotify. I'm glad I just thought, let me write that now. We do that after the stream, because there's a name issue that they said why they wouldn't upload. If you want to support the community on a long-term basis, you can go to patreon.com/The Den Show. Shout out to Miss Grace, James, Stina Starry-Eyed, Diana, Betty Spaghetti, Goya, and Donald Trump. So I appreciate all of you for having long-term faith in the community. If you want to support the channel on a one-time donation, you go to streamlabs.com/The Den Show. Shout out to everybody who has been showing love to the channel. Go to denshowmerch.com, get you some Den Show merch. I don't know if the Honcho single show, I think it might be there. I don't know. I mean, I'm on Honcho, but I got something special that I'm working on. I got 2 items. I'm not going to talk about it yet, but just y'all stay tuned. Look, it's going to be a limited edition special item, so y'all stay tuned for that. Call the Den line anytime, whether we're live or not, 833-284-3336. You can also send text messages, screenshots, links, anything that you have. If you come across some news, send that to your boy. It's always greatly appreciated. But with that being said, it is an honor, a privilege, a pleasure to get to chop it up with you guys each and every night. The ears getting all hot and shit. Now, thank y'all sincerely for just supporting, for coming through, being part of the conversation, calling in, sharing your thoughts, sharing your views, and whatever it may be. Y'all are great people. Except for Kenneth, because I need to see his green card. I don't know. I may have to call ICE on him. And Female Pimp. They probably, once the ICE raids start, we probably won't hear too much from them pretty soon. So, with that being said, I'm going. I appreciate y'all. I'm out. I'm stealing pistachios. Guard your nuts, because it's all that good shit finna happen. Sweetberry is a thief. All right. So if you're wondering why you don't have any pistachios, 9 times out of 10, Sweetberry has stolen your pistachios while you were not looking. You want some outro music in your head? Do. That's your goddamn outro music. Baby Shark, nigga, that's your goddamn outro music. You know, Kenneth, look, I don't have any Honduran outro music. All right, so forget you. Goddamn. How about that? I'm out, y'all. Stop fucking with y'all. I'm gone.